Okay, there it is. One more time, our horrible, audible introduction. We do the best we can around here. Welcome everybody once again. It's Conspiracy or Not, here we come. Hey Ian, how you doing? Hi Amy, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hanging in
Okay,
here.
everybody's audio is good. It is Friday, February 3rd, 2017, and here we are once again for your listening discomfort.
Displeasure. Apparently.
Yeah. We have lots and lots of not so good news to bring to your attention, and it's going to be a fun-filled night as always. So what's going on with you guys?
It's been a crazy week. Been working lots, so I haven't been keeping up on too much news, but getting kind of sucked into the political news.
Yeah, Donald Trump has been a busy little duck, hasn't he?
Yeah, executive orders left and right.
Actually, I was going to read from my cell phone, but what I think I'll do is maybe do a screen share and pull up this article proper so I don't have to read it off my phone to you. Trump has been a busy little beaver lately, hasn't he?
Oh, very much so.
Let's see here. I'm going to see if I can find this article. It appears that Trump vows to end prohibition on church political activity.
Oh, really? He wants to join church and state? Like that's really what that says, isn't it? Merge church and state.
Here, I got the article. Give me a second. Let me do a screen share, and I'll show it to you and read it to you while we talk. Yeah, and there's another article or two I also want to go over. Come on, screen share. Huh, what the hell? It's not working.
Screen share?
Yeah, it's not coming up. Come on. Oh, jeez. All right, well, I'll tell you what. I'll just read it to you. Hang on. Kill my thing here.
Give me the link and I'll
Okay.
see if mine works.
Okay. Here comes the link. Maybe it's because you weren't still on screen share, but there's the link. I don't know why, but my screen share is not working right now. Want to go ahead and you got that link there?
Yeah, I'll screen share.
Okay, have you? I'm on a different tab. Are you screen sharing? I'm going to go ahead and start reading this out here.
Yeah, go ahead. I got it.
Well, this is from Reuters. Trump vows to end prohibition on church political activity. You should see this image they have on this, by the way. They have Trump on the Jumbotron. It's like one of those mega churches with the enormous TV screen. It kind of reminds me of George Orwell's 1984, where they all file into the auditorium and they scream traitor at the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
President Donald Trump on Thursday vowed to free churches and other tax-exempt institutions of a 1954 U.S. law banning political activity, drawing fire from critics who accuse him of rewarding his evangelical Christian supporters and turning houses of worship into political machines. As Trump used a prayer breakfast to take aim at a long-standing statutory barrier between politics and religion called the Johnson Amendment, civil liberties and gay rights groups expressed concern that he might consider an executive order to allow government agencies and businesses to deny services to gay people in the name of religious freedom. What? How does that even equate?
Jeez.
How does that even equate?
I don't know.
Trump did not reference such an order in his remarks, but he lambasted the Johnson Amendment, which prohibits tax-exempt organizations such as churches and other places of worship, charities, educational institutions, from directly or indirectly participating in any political campaign in favor or against a political candidate. Quote, I will get rid of and totally destroy the Johnson Amendment and allow our representatives of faith to speak freely and without fear of retribution. I will do that, remember. Quote, end quote. Trump told U.S. politicians, religious leaders, and guests, including Jordan's King Abdullah, at the annual National Prayer Breakfast.
What was this even true?
I mean, well, I don't know. It's coming from Reuters. How much can you really trust?
Yeah, really.
I know. I just don't even think it's true.
Well, I mean,
I think they've spun this out of control. That's what. Anyway.
All right. Well, what's weird to me right off the bat is Jordan's King Abdullah is at the National Prayer Breakfast. If I'm not mistaken, the National Prayer Breakfast is a Christian prayer and a breakfast organization types, gathering. What's King Abdullah doing there? That sounds a little bit weird. Anyway, I can just imagine the guy squirming in his seat while they're, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, that's just, it's all getting so totally absurd,
Well, see, here's some spin here. White House spokesman Sean Spicer told reporters Trump wanted to find ways to make sure people were not penalized for following through on their religious beliefs. I mean, how that makes absolutely no sense. To get rid of this Johnson Amendment, which would allow churches to engage in political activity, including financially, right? Which is the main deal here.
Right.
How does doing that prevent people from being penalized for following through on their religious beliefs? And by the way, who was being penalized for that anyway?
Yeah, I didn't know that
who got penalized for that? I never heard anyone I never heard about it.
Yeah, I'd never heard any issues on that score either. I think it's problem, reaction, solution, create the problem.
This could be problem, reaction, solution, because it's not saying that it's done deal. It just says that a draft executive order on, quote, religious freedom circulating among advocacy groups would allow government officials to deny marriage license to gay couples. Oh, really? And let businesses withhold services from gay people. This is what the activists are saying. White House said it was not working on such an order. Trump previously spoke out against the Johnson Amendment during the campaign and won the support of evangelical Christian leaders, including Liberty University President Jerry Falwell.
Wow.
A change in the law would require action in the Republican-led U.S. Congress, and Republican lawmakers introduced the legislation that would reverse the policy. After Trump's remarks, Republican House Representative Speaker Paul Ryan told reporters he has, quote, always supported, end quote, eliminating the Johnson Amendment. Really? President, quote, critics, including the group Americans United for Separation of Church and State.
They expressed alarm. It's these key words that get you to react.
Yes, to hook you in emotionally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, in a way, they're right because I mean, there was prohibition on churches because, by the way, some of these churches are enormous and they wield enormous influence over their people. Enormous influence. And so that was a good thing to have that in place. We don't need our religious leaders telling their millions of followers that this is bad, this is good, and you need to vote this way or that way. I don't. True. We're supposed to be secular. We're supposed to keep it separate.
Right.
Very true.
Well, they shouldn't be allowed to, campaign politically inside a church. But you should be able to do whatever the heck you want outside of that,
Yes.
institution, right? That's your freedom of speech, right? But,
So this guy, Peter Montgomery of the liberal advocacy group, People for the American Way, said Trump wants to pay back religious conservatives who helped get him elected, quote, by letting them turn their churches into political machines with tax-exempt charitable dollars. So, I mean, if that's the case, that's not good.
No, not in the least.
If they want to start using their religious income,
no, that's wrong.
Their religious donations from their congregation,
yeah,
and be tax exempt, they got no business playing political games with that money.
No,
I agree.
No, well, that's what the founding fathers warned against. So.
Yeah, it was like one of the first. Wasn't that one of the first things they had a problem with?
Yeah, because they went through it all before with the Vatican. Yeah.
I'm not looking. Are you doing a screen share? Because this article goes on and on here.
Still screen share. It's a long article. Huh?
It actually goes down here. Pray for Arnold. What is this? Trump used the opening moments of the usually solemn prayer breakfast to deride actor Arnold Schwarzenegger, his successor on the TV show, for his viewership ratings. Oh, yeah, I heard. Okay, that's right. See, I didn't even know that Schwarzenegger took over The Apprentice.
I didn't either.
Until all this crap came up. And then.
Yep.
Shows how popular it is.
Yeah, Trump said Schwarzenegger, the Republican former governor, California, had disastrous ratings on the reality program Celebrity Apprentice. Quote, they hired a big movie star, Arnold Schwarzenegger, to take my place, and we know that and we know how that turned out, Trump said. It's been a total disaster, and I want to just pray for Arnold if we can for those ratings, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, isn't that
really
disgusting?
That's funny.
Really, Trump? Really?
Yeah,
Everyone pray for Arnold Schwarzenegger because he sucks at doing my job.
Yeah.
What the hell kind of narcissistic guy is this? I mean, I knew he had an ego, but Jesus.
Well, he's playing his script, That's part of it.
Okay, so a little
well,
ways
he's
down.
afraid he's going to ruin the name of his show. That's all.
Oh yeah.
So Schwarzenegger, who endorsed Ohio Governor John Kasich over Trump for the Republican presidential nomination, shot back, alluding to the controversies of Trump's first 2 weeks in office, saying, quote, "Hey, Donald, I have a great idea," Schwarzenegger said in a video. "Why don't we switch jobs? You take over TV because you're such an expert at ratings, and I'll take over your job, and then people can finally sleep comfortably again."
Yeah,
what a
right.
bunch of nonsense. You know what? This just sounds like schoolyard.
It's scripted BS is what it is.
It is. It's a bunch of juvenile mudslinging.
Yeah.
And pre-planned juvenile mudslinging. It's not like any of that was organic. I'm going to tell you what.
In fact, to be honest, in my opinion, this portion of the article doesn't even belong in this article. It should be a completely separate article.
Yeah.
Because by the time you get done reading this article, you're all worked up over what Trump said to Arnold and what Arnold said back, and you forgot about the fact that he's planning on rolling back this Johnson amendment that's going to allow the church to get involved in politics.
Yep.
With their tax-exempt congregational dollars.
Well, I think that was done purposely.
I mean, the whole rest of this article is nothing but quote, 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 quote. He said, he said, he said, he said.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, I'm sure that they did that so that they could tell us the truth.
Spicer later called Trump's remarks lighthearted and part of an absolutely beautiful speech. Oh, my God. Come on.
Yeah. Well,
Unreal. I was very facetiously saying right after Trump won the popular vote, you know, before he was inaugurated, when he actually was our oh crap, it just lost me.
What do you mean?
When Trump was the president-elect, that's it. I'm sorry. I was trying to look for this other article and think at the same time. So I was saying all along, when Trump was literally our president-elect before he was, you know, inaugurated, I was saying that, you know, I was saying facetiously that America has become Trump turned America into a reality TV show.
Well, no, that's. I think what it is more to the point is Trump is letting us know that it's a reality show. There's no more pretense.
Well, he's definitely exposed the media, right? And the media's ratings have plummeted, right? Yeah, there's a poll out that 68% of the people in the U.S. don't trust their mainstream media anymore.
Well, some polls I heard.
So there has been some good things come out of all this, even though it's, you know, like you said.
Well, except they're going to direct the reaction to where they want us to be, like David Siemens.
Right. Control opposition type.
Exactly. They pretty much realized that, you know, Jones is pretty much over at the end of his run. Most people are rolling their eyes at him, going, ugh. But they've got that Siemens guy out there and several others that people are going, oh, gosh, wow, look, somebody who's telling the truth. Ooh.
You know who I think is controlled up as well is Stefan Molyneux.
Oh, definitely.
That guy.
I don't think there's any doubt on that one.
He is a very well-spoken. He's well-read. He knows, you know, he knows his stuff, but he poisons his own well.
Yes, he does.
And
well, he's pretty good at philosophy.
Richie Allen is coming out lately and poisoning his own well really bad.
Who?
Last video he just put out about the Jewish Holocaust, right?
Holocaust.
Yeah. So these people that are like, you know, your mainstream.
Wait,
they're all getting found out now because everybody's becoming more awake.
So wait, what's your problem with Richie Allen now?
Did you see that last video he just put out? Where he was calling anybody who doesn't agree with him about the Holocaust, that 6 million people died there.
You were breaking up a little bit. Could you say that again?
He put out a video there the other day that he got totally pounced on by his subscribers. Anybody who doesn't believe me about the Holocaust being all real and that's a total idiot and all this stuff.
Oh, dear.
So the Holocaust revisionists that were in there were just really mad. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you actually look at the evidence, there's no way that what they said happened could have happened.
No, you talking about when he talked? Are you talking about when he spoke with Jim Mars?
No, it was another video. I just watched it this morning.
I mean, Richie Allen made very clear that he knows full well that Jews were persecuted and killed. And he had, I think I know who you're talking about. I didn't hear the interview because he spoke about the previous interview, which was a couple of days ago or yesterday, 2 days ago. And he said that everybody that didn't get along, everybody that didn't go along with the Nazi ideology, the Nazi way, was killed. I mean, the Nazis made no bones about killing any and everybody. They killed everybody. They killed their own.
Well, nobody's saying that no Jews were killed. Right? They're just saying that their numbers are a lie.
Yeah, well, and in fact,
Richie's not denying that.
The official numbers have been consistently dropping ever since it first came out. Officially, they only, last I heard, it was about 500,000. But it's not like the media goes out and tells people, oh, the numbers changed.
Well,
Like, oh
They
my
changed
gosh.
like 3 times.
I'm sorry?
They changed like 3 times.
Oh, at least 3 times. They just keep revising them downward.
that's right.
As more and more people go, hey, that's not possible.
That's
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, maybe it was only X amount instead of
Well, the
Y.
Red Cross numbers came out to 250,000 Jews.
I was going to say 350. So yeah, it's in the hundreds of thousands instead of millions.
Yes, and
Yeah.
those can be easily accounted for with
Yeah.
But there was
typhus,
other
scurvy,
Colostrum.
and starving to death.
well, millions of people probably did die, right? But they weren't all just Jews. I mean, there was all countries around there, right?
Well, yeah, there were a lot of people who died just by getting killed in war, but you know, as far as their whole thing was that 6 million Jews died in the concentration camps.
Yeah.
Which there's no way that they, what they said happened could have happened, as far as the Zyklon B and the
I urge everybody. Sorry, go ahead.
the rooms that they had could not have functioned in the way that they were claiming they functioned, and there was zero evidence that Zyklon B had ever come near the rooms, and on and on and on.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of evidence that suggests that they were not gas chambers for people anyway, because there were windows.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
you can't imagine. The doors. Yeah, try to imagine a room full of people about to be gassed. You think somebody would break their damn window out? You know what I mean?
You think?
Hey guys, I urge all of our viewers to go and watch that Phil Donahue episode where he has David Cole, I believe his name is. He was a young Jewish kid at the time, young guy, and he went to Auschwitz, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he took the tour, and he was, saying this is impossible, right? And they have him on Phil Donahue, and they totally try to shill him out.
Wow.
And there's another guy out there as well with him, and he's not so much into complete denial, but he was getting shilled on too on the show. So I urge all the viewers, it's Phil Donahue. You can type it in probably. I'll type it in and put a link.
Well, Nick Collusion, somebody that we're actually trying to get in touch with to get on the show here, has the whole story on this. Ole Demigard is very familiar with the story. In fact, for anybody listening, if you question the Holocaust or the Holocaust or call it what you want, if you have any questions about that, you can go to listen to Red Ice Radio interview with Ole Demigard, where he pretty much goes over most, if not all, probably most of the information that Nick Collusion puts out. So there's just, there's no question that in the deplorable conditions that those people had, and in some cases it was deplorable, and that was near the end of the war when their supply lines were cut off and they couldn't feed everybody. So for the most part, I understand that those people in those camps were taken pretty well care of. They had recreation facilities, they had swimming pools, they were taken pretty well care of. And at the end of the war, when Germany's supply lines were completely cut off, the food dried up, and that lasted for months. So yeah, there were starving people, but at the same time, sanitation wasn't all that great, and they had lice and they had other diseases, and so that's why they had the gas chambers, because they were gassing the clothing of those people, trying to get rid of the lice.
Yep.
And I think if you do the math, it takes a certain amount of time to burn a human body to ashes, like a couple of hours per body, and there was just, if you do the numbers math, when they say millions of people were gassed and incinerated in the ovens, there's not enough time physically. There's just physically not enough time to actually burn everybody up in those incinerators. It's just not physically possible.
Yeah, exactly.
There's just like I was saying, there's windows. Those gas chambers had windows in them, and they didn't lock.
Lampshades
Yeah.
and they make it soap and lampshades.
It's like a tourist attraction. People can go and visit these places, and it's like people have noticed that, hey, wait a minute, there's windows and the doors don't lock and shit like that. So the story is bunk. And what Joseph Farrell was talking about was that IG Farben had that enormous synthetic rubber plant, ostensibly synthetic rubber plant, located in the town of Auschwitz, right next to the camp, and they used more electricity at that one plant than Berlin did, the entire city of Berlin.
Yep.
So he puts forward the suggestion that they were enriching uranium, and they had a supply of prisoners, and of course they were using prisoners to, clean up the radioactive stuff. And when they died, they had more prisoners. So fair enough. In 4 years of operation, IG Farben produced 0 synthetic rubber, and they had the patent. They knew how to make synthetic rubber, and they couldn't produce any in 4 years. And like he said, 900 million Deutschmarks they spent of their own money to build that plant, which is today's money is like $2 billion, or is $2 billion in 1940 dollars. You know what I mean? So I don't know what it is in today's money with inflation.
Probably close to $1 trillion.
Could be, or several hundred billion. But they spent 900 million Deutschmarks of their own money. IG Farben spent on this one plant and didn't produce any synthetic rubber in 4 years. So I'm calling bullshit on that one.
Yep. Yeah, sure.
And then, as Farrell points out, the evidence that they had literally tons of enriched uranium. So, with the electricity use, the electricity requirements to enrich uranium, that's more than likely exactly what they were doing. Because it was an enrichment plant.
Yeah. Anyway, so controlled opposition types, right?
Okay, so I've got another article I want to read, and my screen share is not working, Ian. I shot you the link to this other article if you want to pull that up.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So with these controlled opposition types, right? I think they've pretty much always been there. We're just getting more awake now, and now we can sift through and see through a lot of things.
Yep.
Right. As a collective consciousness as well, everybody's sort of maturing, right?
Yeah.
One may hope it's everybody.
Years and years, right? And you can see how everybody's sort of molded and blended into their own little thing, right? Their own little niche, so to speak, right?
Well, that's
I'm just saying, like people like Team Wake 'em Up, Red Silver J, and all the tubers that have been around a long time, right?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
They've all sort of refined themselves into one certain thing, and they've got
Well, I used to enjoy Red Silver, but he started there. I forget what it was now, but he said something was real that was so blatantly fake. I just went, why, after all these calling out all the fakery, why is he saying this is real? I think it was Ferguson, and I dumped him at that point.
Well, Amy, I would only caution you and anybody else to not be so quick to dump people like that so quickly over a mistake. I mean, we have to allow some measure of benefit of doubt. We are talking about humans. People make mistakes.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but it wasn't. I guess it wasn't just that. I had been getting an uneasy feeling, and when that happened, I went, okay. Maybe I'm not interested in spending my time with this guy.
Ian, you got that other article up yet?
Oh, you did send one. Okay. I hate how they do that on here, stuck together.
Yeah.
All right.
Because after all, I did title tonight's show "Heads They Win, Tails We Lose." So I want to bring forward a couple of these articles that are just, not so pretty to think about.
Another win for big oil.
Yes, sir. Another win for big oil. House removes transparency rule, and there's yet another article that we'll cover when we get done with this one. The Republican-dominated House of Representatives yesterday moved to repeal a rule that requires oil companies to report on their payments to foreign governments, including taxes and royalties from their activities in these countries.
Oh, jeez.
So, I mean...
So we get rid of the TPP, right?
Yeah, and then virtually everything else that he's chosen to do makes me cringe. Yay, TPP's gone.
Yeah, but that was a dead issue anyway.
Yeah,
well, we
pretty
take
much
out
was.
the TPP and then we put in something just as bad.
Yep.
It's basically like allowing the corporations to go backdoor all the stuff they were going to do anyway. The only thing they're not going to be able to do, without the TPP is sue governments, bring lawsuits when they have losses according to legislation. That's the only thing they're not going to do without the TPP is to be able to sue governments.
Right.
But we'll see that come in the future. They'll stick that into some other bill. They'll attach it to some other bill with a flowery name like Save the Children Act.
Yes.
And who can be against children? But deep inside that bill is going to be, and by the way, we're going to allow corporations to sue us if we damage their profits in any way, in projected profits, no less.
Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Canada already has that with China, the China agreement.
Oh, gee.
We already have that. So, yeah.
The things that money prompts people to do. I'm just amazed. Well, not really.
So the rule, part of the Dodd-Frank Act, was devised and approved 2 years after the 2008 crisis, aiming to make public energy companies more transparent and limit the potential for bribes abroad. The energy companies themselves, however, protested that the rule puts them in a disadvantage to foreign competitors that are not bound by it. Wah. On the other hand, backers of the rule know that the main competitors of Exxon and Chevron are based in Europe and as such are subject to EU regulations to the same effect. Shell, BP, Total, and the rest of them all report their tax and royalty payments to foreign governments on an annual basis. Rex Tillerson, the new Secretary of State, was one of the most vocal opponents to the rule, arguing that it would make it harder for Exxon to do business in resource-rich countries such as Russia. Yet, despite the fact the rule was stipulated in the Dodd-Frank Act, it never took effect. In the years following the passing of the Dodd-Frank Act, the SEC has worked on formulating it more specifically. As Vox reports, the final formulation was only completed in the middle of last year, and the rule was supposed to take effect this year. The Congress is using a little-known piece of legislation to quickly remove Obama regulations, the Congressional Review Act. It allows lawmakers to repeal regulation by a simple majority vote. By the end of this week, according to Bloomberg, the House is also expected to kill regulation regarding mountaintop mining and limiting methane emissions.
Oh, God.
Hooray for big oil. Another win for big oil.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we can't say we didn't know this was coming because he's all for big oil.
Well, yeah.
Well, Trump is invested in the DAPL, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's invested in pipelines and all that. Yeah.
Yep.
Trump has investments in the Dakota oil pipeline, so
uranium as well.
He's at least partially invested in energy.
Yep, uranium, just like his cousin Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
Just distant relative. But yeah, no, I knew this was coming because he's all about business, big business. So.
Well, I knew it was coming too, just because I know that.
Yeah, Jordan Rains says they want to tax cow farts. They do. I mean, that's no kidding.
Yeah,
As funny as silly as it is.
Methane emissions.
So Ian, you're in Canada. Aren't they already implementing some form of the carbon tax in Canada?
Oh, yeah. Well, in BC, we pay carbon tax already, but they're going to be implementing it nationwide for all the provinces.
It's such a farce.
Oh, yeah. And we're even worse about the climate change up here, right? Our government's all in bed with the climate change.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
You know, are they gonna start taxing you to breathe?
Pretty much. That's
Well, yeah.
Our gas. I mean, I don't know what's the Canadian dollar worth in U.S. now.
I haven't looked at an exchange rate there.
I have no idea, but I think we're kind of close.
But ours is in liters up here. You know, you have to convert it. But we pay $1. I pay $1.18, $1.19 a liter.
$1.19 per liter.
Per liter. Yeah.
Well, how many? Okay, now we got to do conversion rate.
Now we got to convert everything.
Since you brought it up,
because there's
how
an
many liters in a
line
gallon?
dividing us up. We have to use different forms of.
Isn't there like close to 4 liters in a gallon, something like that, almost?
Well, let me see.
Is it somebody do a conversion? Pull up a.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. You guys keep chatting.
You know, I was actually trying to figure that out when I was traveling in Mexico, because they're the same way down there. They sell their petrol in liters, and so how much did you say it was? $1.19 per liter.
Okay, there's 3.78541 per
3.78. I'm going to call it 3.8.
That'll work.
So would you say, Ian, $1.19?
Yeah.
$1.19, yeah.
That's $4.50 a gallon, bro.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's insane.
We're right now paying about $2.50 around here.
Well, you know what? I just traveled to New Jersey last week, and yeah, it is $2.50 up there. But I'm down in Georgia, and it's like $2.19, $2.20.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, it's like $2.20 around here.
Yeah, we pay a lot in gas.
Dude, you were paying twice what I'm paying. And
Yeah.
Canada's oil rich.
Oh yeah, well,
I mean,
a loaf of bread here for the cheapest kind is like $2.50.
for the cheapest bread.
Yeah, like low end bread.
Well, we
The
don't
higher
actually.
end bread is up to $6 a loaf. Could be around $5, I'd say, for good.
Well, you know, part of your goods and services are going to reflect your fuel prices, because everything has to be transported, and that's always taken into account. And including contractor services and all the trucking and all the delivery of all the products. So fuel prices are always taken into account on that end.
Yeah, well, here in BC, right, where I'm in a different province. I went to Calgary, Alberta for Christmas to see my family. So here in BC, it's like $1.18, $1.19, so $1.15 usually. And I went to Calgary, and their gas was only 98.9. Okay. 98 cents. Okay. And their food there was way more expensive than here. You see? So it's different, really different when you go into a different province here, right? A lot of things are really different, right? From province to province. So it's hard to say, like, you know, how that inflation is working that way, but I know for sure that Alberta's going through a real hit with the oil right now. The oil is right down, right? And they've laid off so many people in Alberta. They've lost so many jobs there.
Mm-hmm.
So the oil is down, right? But they got to fly up in the prices of the food. So inflate the goods and services, right? But here, it's kind of the opposite. It's pretty different.
Well, that's pretty outrageous for you to be paying $4.50 for fuel right now. Hey, how high did it get when we had that gas spike? A couple of years ago, because we were paying $4. We were paying over $4 down here. So how high did you get?
We've been up to 132, 133. That's $1.30.
Wait, per liter?
Yeah, we've been up that high before. Yeah.
So wait, you're telling me that's the highest you've been in recent years?
That I've seen since I've been in BC. That's the highest I've seen. Yeah.
Well, that's not.
I think it was like 132.
So that's not much of an increase.
No, not too drastic.
No, it's 40 cents. That's 40 cents a gallon.
90. It went down to like 98 cents, and then it went all the way back up to.
See that?
It goes up and down.
See, that's messed up because a couple of years ago, God, I forget what year it was, but our gas prices spiked. It may have been several years, 5 or 6 years ago. I can't even remember anymore. Time is cruising on by. Yeah. But our gas, the gasoline around here spiked. The price went up. In fact, holy crap, it might have been 10 years ago. It might have been 10 years ago. We were paying over $4 a gallon around here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're telling me how long have you been in BC, Ian?
6 years. Yeah, 7 years now. In March. So,
but you've been in Canada the whole time. So what are the prices like where you were before that?
Generally, well, I was in Alberta, so it was cheaper, right? So they were generally around 90 cents to $1, somewhere in there.
Well, that still doesn't seem. Something's wrong. I think they just milked the shit out of America is what they did.
Probably.
Since most people around here don't have any idea what other people are paying.
You see, Alberta's really happy about this excess, okay? Because it's going to bring the flow.
Jordan Rain said $4 a gallon was 2009. Did you just send me that? ND. What's
that's what it was. Yeah.
How fast eliminating reporting of small oil? What? Dude, Nancy just sent me another article we're going to go over in just a moment here. Holy freaking shit. North Dakota just passed a law. Show me that. Advancing a law. Hang on, I'm going to read this from her phone here. North Dakota lawmakers advance bill to limit oil spill reporting. In North Dakota, the State House of Representatives have advanced a bill that would allow companies to conceal spills of oil, natural gas, and contaminated water. House Bill, House Bill 1151 passed overwhelmingly last Wednesday. It would end a requirement that fossil fuel companies report spills at well sites of less than 10 barrels or 420 gallons. Okay, 10 barrels doesn't sound like much, but I'll tell you what, man, if you're a fan of that TV show, Bering Sea Oil, or excuse me, Bering Sea Gold, those guys, their requirements of those people, if they spill so much as a quarter of a gallon of fuel in the water or something like that, they're required to have all these super absorbent, paper towel, specialized rags that are supposed to soak up oil and gas off the water. I mean, any sort of spill whatsoever.
Wow.
So I guess tonight's headline, heads they win, tails we lose, is pretty appropriate for this evening.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Dean's dude just showed up. Hey, buddy. Oy vey. You guys.
So if anybody wants to join in the chat, juxtapose, or just send a private message to either Aaron or I. And then
just say so in the chat. I'm not checking messages, and I don't get notifications on messages. So if you
Yeah,
if you want to hop in here and talk to us, just say so in the chat, and then somebody will come over and drop a link on your page.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got another article I want to go over with you guys. Let's see here. Give me a second. I'm going to go try and pull it up. I think it was this one here. Oh, the win for big oil. Oh, no. We had it written down. You had it written down too, Ian. That was the, where did it go?
Oh, the Stream Protection Act?
Yeah, the Stream Protection Act. Yeah, pull that up and read that to us.
Okay, I don't have the article, but I'll Google it right now. I'll find it.
I don't know what the hell the deal is. My screen share isn't working right now.
That's weird.
I hit the button and then nothing happens.
So I found an article.
What's up, Tex? Tex makes an appearance.
You can all see my screen, I guess. Right?
Yeah, Tex says 1 drop of oil, except whale oil, in the water down here in the Gulf must be reported. Yeah, no kidding. All those
So it
boats,
says here,
all those, all the fishing boats and shrimp boats, trolling boats. I know I've been following that show for a while. I used to follow it. I don't anymore. The Bering Sea Gold show. All those little dredge boats. Those guys spill a single drop of oil or fuel in the water, and they got to clean that shit up right away. And they're required to, carry these special absorbent towels and things to, get that shit out of the water. Unbelievable. So they just repealed the Stream Protection Act, or they're working on it. I don't remember if it's a done deal or not. Ian, did you find that yet?
Yeah, the Stream Protection Rule for coal mining. This regulation, finalized in December 2016, would sharply restrict coal mining companies from dumping debris and waste into nearby waterways in the future. Also, before starting a new mine, coal companies would have to develop a plan and set aside money to restore affected streams once finished. Advocates say the rule is crucial to protect high fragile ecosystems and limit the dumping of toxic heavy metals into water supplies. But the coal industry, which is already in sharp decline, says it would put large swathes of the nation's untapped coal reserves off limits and further crunch coal mining companies.
Well, let's hope they decline to nothing and we get electric Gravitics out.
And the methane waste rule, which was finalized in November last year, would require oil and gas companies to reduce methane leaks from operations on federal and tribal lands. Just flaring it or letting it waft into the air, companies capture the methane and sell it off. A component of Obama's climate plan, which aimed to reduce emissions of methane, of greenhouse gas from oil and gas drilling 40% by 2025. The oil industry preferred this regulated at the state level, which is typically looser. The oil industry didn't want it to be a federal thing. They wanted it to stick in the state level so that they could get away with more, hence the term typically looser.
Yep.
So there's a bunch of different regulations imposed here, right, for this. Anybody wants to come back and read all these regulations here? I'll just scroll down.
That's God. Is anybody pissed off yet?
I mean, they're just trying to do like backhanded.
I'm not.
Get out of this stuff. Right? right?
I'm not
That
pissed
is
off
awful.
per se because I don't consent to any of that stuff, and I'm working on everybody withdrawing their consent from that crazy ass system to begin with. So, I mean, I'm pissed in that people are consenting to that whole system and that
I'm pissed.
insanity.
I'm pissed that more people are not pissed.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what you're aiming for, Amy, because
Yep.
look, you can't withdraw consent until you realize what's going on. And when you
That's
realize
right.
what's going on, you're going to get pissed off. More
Yeah, I
people need to be pissed.
Well, I agree. I'm pissed off that there aren't more pissed off people.
I can't do a screen share, but right now I just did a Google search for landfill gas vents because I know that we've got some massive landfills around here in Atlanta, Georgia. Mountainous. They're huge.
Yes.
And you can see the PVC piping coming out of these, after they cover it up with soil and turn it into a grassy hill. They have to vent that shit because there's the methane and the gases that come off of the rotting, food waste from household waste in the landfills. They have to vent that, otherwise the mountain would explode, literally.
Yep.
And in some cases, they're actually capturing those gases and literally bottling it and selling it or using it for fuel to heat their facilities and reduce their costs or whatever. And I also know
that's a good idea.
I also know that in some cases, and Ian, since you're the only one that can do a screen share, because I don't know why my screen share is not working, you can even Google modern sewage treatment facilities, because they are also capturing the methane that comes off of those huge sewage tanks, the treatment tanks. Okay. They're capturing that methane and they're putting it back into the system by heating the building and the facility. And they may not send it off to be sold on a commercial market, but they're using it at their own facility for heating during the winter and stuff like that. Point is, what was it you were just reading a minute ago about the methane releases?
They want to make it at a state level as opposed to
a federal thing.
As opposed to a federal thing for methane emissions. Obama implemented a new strategy plan in November to charge companies for emitting methane. Basically a methane tax or whatever.
Right.
The regulation, to reduce their methane usage, right, or release.
It's actually okay. The point I was trying to make is it's actually profitable for these companies to catch their own methane.
Yeah, you'd think, huh?
Because
you can reduce their costs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you could probably.
But the coal industry isn't interested in that. They don't want to see methane.
Well, it's too much money for them to deal with. They'd rather just not even worry about it, right?
We got this guy. Haven't seen him in our chat before, but hello, Akon of Sargad. He said there are healthy levels of anger. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Akon of Sargad. There are healthy levels of anger. Healthy? Yeah, he's correct. There are healthy levels of anger. Unfortunately, nobody's angry. It doesn't seem like there's enough angry people at all. That's my problem. People need to be a little bit angry, for crying out loud. This is getting ridiculous.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, well, like I said, until an oil spill happens in your backyard or in your neighborhood, people won't, they just.
That's right.
It has to hit them at home, or else it has no effect, right?
Yep.
I mean, I'm not asking for people to act like that social justice liberal fucking, I don't know what that thing was. We've all seen that image. Remember when Trump was inaugurated, that woman, I'm going to call it a woman. We don't know if it was that thing. It's just Pat. Yeah. that was screaming, "No!"
Yeah, horrible.
We've all seen that. Okay, I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking for people to lose their minds. Of course, that would affect some change real fast if enough people started losing their minds, like really angry.
Yeah.
But I'm not calling for looting and destruction of private property, but Jesus Christ, we got to stop being so apathetic, man. This is I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
She was actually a crisis actor. She was a plan.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You look up. She looked up to where she was supposed to be.
That's right. Are the cameras rolling? Are we rolling? Are we on?
Yeah, you can see it. It was fake. That was fake as hell.
It was completely staged. Absolutely.
It's just stir your emotions, like Amy mentioned earlier.
Yep.
Stir up your emotions. That's all it is.
Hook in your emotions.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the people need to get intelligently fed up, and say, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm going to consent to something else. Bye-bye.
Yeah, but people got to get angry first to get to that stage. I know,
that's what I'm saying.
What you're talking about, Amy, is the afterwards. It's the stage that comes after the anger, when you realize you can't really do much by yourself, but what you can do is stop consenting and stop going along.
Right, and start building something better with the people who have said, we're not consenting to that anymore. We're going to consent to this because it's better. Yepers.
Yeah.
All right.
I work full time, so I'm kind of stuck in the matrix.
Well, if we really work at it.
Well, hey, you guys, let me change the subject just a little bit because I forgot to do this. I wanted to do this at the very beginning of the show. I wanted to just express to those listening and watching and whoever may come across this video the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. And you guys can speak for yourself. I'm not going to speak for you. I'll just speak for me. But I want to let everybody know the reason I'm doing what I'm doing and why I'm here every week with you guys and why I put all the effort into researching for shows and taking notes and contacting and doing interviews and all that stuff. The number one reason I'm doing it is selfish. And it's not for view counts on my videos. It's not for, subscribers. My selfish reason is for my own personal knowledge. I'm doing this so that I can interact with people like you guys on the panel, my co-hosts, people in the chat box, all of our friends, Juxtapose and Deans and Tex, and all the people who show up and give us links to articles and sometimes correct us during the show because we make mistakes. We're people. I'm doing it. I'm doing this. My number one reason is selfish. It's for my own knowledge. It's networking. It's as a what's his name? James Corbett. He calls it open source investigating. That's the number one reason I do it, is for my own personal knowledge. The other two reasons I do it is to create a platform. Yet another platform for people like our distinguished guests that we've had. And despite what you think of these people, Ole Demigard, Joseph Farrell, unimpeachable if you ask me, and despite what you think of them, even Jim Fetzer, it's to create a platform for other researchers, authors, whistleblowers, documentary makers. That's reason number two, is to create yet another platform for people like that to put out their information. But my number one reason to do this is for my own personal pursuit of knowledge as an amateur researcher. And I think that open source investigating and sharing, and that's the third reason, is sharing, so that other people, creating a place where all of us in our little circle here, and our circle is growing, it's to create a place for all of us to share information. So that's one of the things I really appreciate about doing this the way we do it, with the live chat. So that, and we've been corrected during the live show. We've had people, pipe up in the chat box and say, no, that was wrong, and here's the info.
Here's the real scoop.
Yeah. So I really appreciate. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be putting out bad information. And if I'm spouting some bullshit off the top of my head and I happen to be wrong, please correct me. Don't hesitate. So that's the other
Absolutely.
reason. That's the other reason, is so that we can all come together and share our information and collectively gain knowledge. So you guys can speak for yourselves, but that's why I'm doing the show. And I wanted to do that at the beginning, and I'm sorry I forgot. So here it is.
No, that's okay. I'm sure you can guess what a big reason that I'm doing the show, aside from all the reasons that you mentioned. You know, I like to be able to point out that we can do things in a better fashion than they're being done presently on this planet, what with all the psychopath promoting we're doing. And that's pretty much where I'm at.
Well, Ian, if you have anything to add to that, then feel free. Otherwise, we can move forward.
I just did it because my wife's sick of hearing me talk to her, so I need to talk to someone.
Oh my
Good reason.
No, I just,
Thank you, honey.
no, I just feel I like the what you said earlier there, the open source, but I think of it more of an open investigation, right, into things, right, where we can expand our consciousness, create a you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say really, but just create a new
Harmonious
outlook.
awareness.
Yeah, like a collective consciousness. That's what I'm trying to, right? And I just want to be able to share what I've learned with other people and help them because I love the world and I love everybody in it. I just think that there's just not enough love in this world, and we really need to spread it. We need to spread the truth, and with the truth will come love, right? Because
Yes.
right, because once people find out the truth, then we won't have division anymore, right? There won't be
Yes,
the divide and
exactly.
conquer. There won't. Like, it's just everybody will know that they've been lied to their whole lives about everything, right?
Yep.
So they'll form a new consciousness where we all work together instead of against each other. They won't want to go back to the old world.
Well,
ways.
you know, we are cooperative beings except under scarcity situations, in which case we become very competitive. And they
But-
have kept us in scarcity so that we are
only-
competing.
Only to an extent. You are correct, but not entirely, Amy. Even in scarcity, people in small groups, family units, and will still
true.
continue to help each other, even in scarcity.
Very true, but I'm just saying overall. I'm looking at an overall picture. Overall, human beings are very cooperative, and
By and large, we're very cooperative. That's our nature.
And
Yes,
you know,
we always want to help each other. That's in
we're
our.
problem solvers too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, I think the system should be one that functions on our cooperative nature and our desire to solve problems. I think that's really a far
Yeah, I
better
mean,
option.
we're naturally problem solvers, and in many cases, I could find you, in 5 minutes, I could find you a dozen or more instances of where people have risked their lives to help a stranger.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, this idea of divide and conquer is something that is taught. It is pushed on us. It's not our actual nature, although it is a part of us. It's natural on to some extent when you don't know somebody, right? And they're, they look different and they act different and they freak you out for one reason or another. We have that natural ability to, self-preserve.
Yes.
But on the other hand, even strangers are part of the human family. We all recognize that. And our true nature is really to be helpful and accommodating. And all this divide and conquer, it's just used, it's just a tool. And when people get over that, when people realize that, I think you're right, Amy. I know that you're right. We just need more awareness, and what we're doing here is spreading the truth, spreading the awareness. So we just need to keep doing what we're doing, man. We can't make people wake up. All we can do is keep putting it out there, and people will come to it on their own time.
That's right. Lead them to the water and hope like heck that they drink.
Yeah.
So, Amy, you want to take a few minute break?
Yeah, in fact, I would.
It's in bright bold for me here, so.
Yes.
I'm guessing.
All right. I will be back in less than 5 minutes.
All right.
All right.
You want me to? I'll tell you what. I'll pull up some juxtapose and play a little tune by Jux here. If you want to take a break for a minute.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. I didn't have it queued up. You sort of surprised me with that. So give me just a second.
No.
Then I'll be ready at 5:30.
All right. Well, I haven't listened to these, so I don't. Let's see. Veneer, Subduster. I think Subduster was one that I either played before or wanted to play. I'm just going to go ahead and play Subduster. This is Juxtapose Subduster. It's about 2.5 minutes, and we'll be back in about 2.5 minutes. Everybody go get yourself a fresh cup of coffee. We'll be right back. All right, that was Subduster.
Awesome.
I do like Zach's mixes
good.
lately.
Good job, Jux.
I do like his mixes lately. He's changed his format or something. I don't know what he's done, but I like what he's doing lately. All right, you guys. So what's the next topic on the table here? You want to talk about debt for a few minutes?
Oh, debt. Yeah.
Debt?
Yeah.
Which debt? I mean, there's so many different aspects to debt.
Yep. That's
Monetary
right.
debt?
Well, we've got the student debt is hit like something like $1 trillion. I don't know why, but my screen share worked that time.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I can see it.
So
No, it's not working out. Do you still have it on?
no, I just turned it off.
Okay.
I was able to get it to work while I played that music. Anyway, so the student debt has reached $1 trillion or something like that. Let's have a look. Student debt. U.S. student loan debt subsidy statistics for 2017, 1.3 trillion.
Wow.
You know, you sit there and you think there's something wrong in a society when a person has to go into so much debt that just to get their education, that they're paying it off the rest of their lives. I mean, for all intents and purposes, right?
Says here, in fact, the average class of 2016 graduate has $37,172 in debt by the time they graduate.
That's just wrong.
Another statistic here, project on student debt, the Institute for College Access and Success. 7 in 10 seniors, that's 68% who graduated from public and nonprofit colleges in 2015, had a student loan debt with an average of $30,000, $30,100 on average. That's 2015.
It's just going up and up. You know,
basically,
and there's no jobs for anyone to go in.
And basically, from the same website for the previous year, it was only $28,950. So yeah, it went up a little bit for 2015. That was 2014. So 2014 average student debt was $28,950. May as well be 30. And then statistic for 2015 is $30,100. So a couple $100 on average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it jumped, what, 7,000?
Student loan resources, financial aid, and loan debt management. Student loan account for over $1 trillion in debt in America.
It's outrageous.
It is.
We're in trouble, guys.
Education should never be. You should never pay for an education. Ever.
Here's an article. How the $1.2 trillion college debt crisis is crippling students. Forbes magazine.
Yep.
What were you going to say, Amy?
Well, you know, I'm just sitting here. Every time I think of debt, you know, I've got a solution. And I keep thinking about it. You know, if you set things up right, all financial debt vanishes. But we got to get there.
Here, New York Times, Business Day. Degrees of Debt. The series examines the implications of soaring college costs and the indebtedness of students and their families. A generation hobbled by soaring costs of college. Do-do-do-do-do.
And then, you know, once they get out into the working world, gods, I hate that term. You know, the slave system.
Yeah, then you got to buy a $40,000 car right off the bat.
You gotta find a job, and I can tell you that's not. You can't. It's not like you can just go knock on a few doors and have somebody go, "Yeah, I'll hire you. Come on in." You know, you spend many, many years trying to find a decent job, you know, and if you're lucky, you can get something at McDonald's while you're trying to find the job that your degree is in. You know, it's just all so wrong. It is just so wrong.
Ohio, Kelsey Griffith graduates on Sunday from Ohio Northern University to start paying off her $120,000 in student debt. She is already working 2 restaurant jobs and will soon give up her apartment here to live with her parents. Her mother, who co-signed on the loans, is taking out a life insurance policy on her daughter. Wait, what? Sounds like Walmart. Just go to work for Walmart. They'll take out a life insurance policy on you.
Wow.
This is another thing. Are you guys familiar with that? How corporations like Walmart take out in life insurance policies on their employees?
Yes, they
No,
do.
I hadn't heard that, but
about
you know,
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't surprise
yeah.
me in the least.
Yeah, I don't know about here in Canada, but I know they.
I mean, you can take out a life insurance policy on anybody, and then you're the beneficiary.
Yeah.
I think we should all take out life insurance policies on Donald
Walmart.
Trump.
I mean, look, how freaking disgusting do you have to be of a corporate
Slime ball.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for an adjective like that, but
Well, it's always top down,
You know-
and you know who's at the top, right? A bunch
well,
of
what I meant to say was like a board member, a corporate board member. Imagine sitting around the boardroom one day and you're having, your daily meeting, and you guys are discussing how to increase your profits for the quarter or for the year, because that's what you do as board members, right? How do we get more money? How do we get more money? How do we get more money? And what are we talking about today? How do we get more money?
Yep.
So, can you imagine at the table somebody says, "Hey, I have an idea. I ran the numbers, and let's say we have 1,000 employees, and let's say it cost us." And I'm speaking out my rear end because I have no idea what it costs for a life insurance policy. I have no idea. Let's say, I don't know, a couple $100 a month, and let's say you have 1,000 employees, and that works out to so many tens of thousands of dollars per month, which works out to so many millions of dollars per year. But hey, I ran the numbers, and on average, this many people die per year out of 1,000. So if we had $1 million policy on every one of our employees, and let's say only one of them or maybe two of them per year died, we're
ahead of the game.
We're in the black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But they make business of it.
It's business.
Yeah.
Yep.
And meanwhile, the people that die, in many cases, they're low-wage workers like Walmart employees. And what do their families have? Nothing.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
What kind of freaking corporate scumbag does that?
A psychopathic one.
Yes, you're right. It's a psychopath.
Whoever would have come, there must have been some unusual circumstance or something for them to actually implement all of it to begin with, right?
The circumstance is we need more profit this quarter.
Yep.
I mean, what other circumstance would cause a corporation to consider taking out life insurance policies on all of its low-level employees?
So here's the history of health of life insurance. Okay, right. This is Wikipedia. Right. It's an early form of life insurance dates back. An early form of life insurance dates to ancient Rome. In quotes, burial clubs covered the cost of members' funeral expenses and assisted survivors financially. The first company to offer life insurance in modern times was the Amicable Society for a Perpetual Assurance Office, founded in London in 1706 by William Talbot and Sir Thomas Allen. So it dates back all the way to 1706, the first company to offer life insurance.
So I was just wondering if Jordan or Deans wanted to come in and hang out with us and have something to say and add to the conversation. And if you guys do, let me know in the chat box and we'll send you the link. Oh, that's a nice comment. Frenchie Ben, I appreciate that very much. He said, this week I listened to the interview of you with Joseph P. Farrell. I simply want to thank you for your pure moment of gold. Thanks for that. That's a nice compliment. Made me discover you, the quality of your openness. Thank you. Awesome. I appreciate that, Frenchie, very much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very much appreciated.
We worked hard prepping for that interview, big time.
Indeed.
So Jordan or Dean's dude was saying Jake Brewer.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Died.
They were talking, I guess, while the music was playing. We took a little break. He was talking with Jordan. Jeff Brewer, also known as also is GoFundMe White House guy. Killed strangely.
Huh.
About Melbourne. No, you didn't miss Melbourne. We're going to cover Melbourne here in a few minutes.
Yeah, we're getting to that.
Goldman Sachs owned Dong Energy, Denmark, partner with husband of ex-prime minister, and really.
So this Jake, this was that cyclist that died in 2015. And he lost control of his bike at a sharp curve during his ride. That was in 2015. Jake Brewer. So that was quite a while ago.
Right, that's right. He was a White House.
Yeah, it was a White House.
I don't remember. But Dean's
White House staffer.
Yeah,
Yeah. White House staff member.
Yeah, Jordan, I wanted to cover that briefly as well. He said PK was in the Aussie Jew news outlet.
Yeah.
Oh, really? He was on the Jewish Times or something?
Yeah, anybody who doesn't know PK, he got himself in a little bit of trouble over the Melbourne thing. I guess he called the hospital.
Yes, he did. I heard it before.
Yeah, I think that's where he got his trouble. Was he called the hospital and pretended to try to get a hold of the girl that was injured.
Yeah, well, I think that after How I See the World got in touch with Angel Colon or whatever his name is.
They already tried going after How I See the World for that. Well, they have no case.
Yeah.
Hey, Zach, how you doing? Zach Hawkins showed up. Hey, buddy. Fox News wife.
Further, they just needed a headline. That's all they needed. That's all they wanted out of that whole thing with Robin or anyone else. They just need a headline. Right?
Yeah, they wanted
that they can spin. Right?
It's just intimidation,
Yeah, they just need a headline that they can spin for the sheet.
Yep.
Make it think that these people are all bad and nasty on the internet, or radicalized over the internet. Yeah. The details of it don't matter. It's just they need that headline. That's all.
Oh,
conspiracy theorist threatens family. A lawsuit pending.
Yes.
That's all they need.
Speaking of,
the world will believe it because the headline told you so.
Yep.
I was scrolling through Facebook one day and I learned all these truths by just reading the headline.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Speaking of that, I got subjected to the TV and I heard them say something about they were talking about Trump's, craziness with the signing of the ban, the Muslim ban, and they said, but really, it's all of these events have been Americans. I mean, Boston, San Bernardino, Orlando.
What? They said they were American?
They said that all these were American people that were radicalized. We've got to worry about people getting radicalized online. And as they're listing the events, I'm just going, oh my gosh. Let's see. PSYOP.
Well, everyone they mentioned too.
I know.
This was one of the things I wanted to mention tonight is that, it wasn't a complete Muslim ban. It was just a ban on those countries, right?
Well, yeah.
There's 1-something billion other Muslims in the world, right? Other than in those countries, right? It's not like a it's not a religious ban. Right? It's just
No,
those countries. But Obama put those countries into place about a year ago, right? They created those 7 countries, right? Now most of those are the 7 countries that were on that list, right? That were to be taken out for the Greater Israel Project, right?
Yep.
The neocons with the PNAC and all the rest of it, right? But when they're using the hoaxes to rest their cases on why we need to vet more people. You see what I mean?
Exactly.
So none of these people really existed in what they were portrayed to be on the news, right?
But they're also trying to use
Omar Mateen and the Bernardino and the Sarnav brothers and blah blah blah, right? They weren't. They're probably not even either A, not even real, or B, they're just their names aren't that, right?
Yes.
So they use all these hoaxes to justify why they need this vetting system in place. You see, it's so bad now that we're basing all of this outrage and chaos and turmoil and all the lefties crying their eyes out, right, about this travel ban is based on lies, on a false history that they've created for us.
Well, it bothers me that there's in the news they're putting in this image that we've got to make sure people don't get radicalized online, which of course is more of their
clamp down on information.
Exactly.
That's the agenda. That's the agenda behind all that.
The interweb, yes.
You know, they tried the fake news thing, which immediately backfired in their faces, and they literally within a couple of weeks started saying openly, we need to stop saying this.
Yep.
I mean, literally, there are articles saying we should stop using this term. And it's like they're talking to each other with their own articles. That was kind of weird to me, by the way, that they would openly say we should stop saying fake news. They could have just stopped saying it, like they do with the viruses. Zika comes along, scare, and then all of a sudden they just stop talking about it.
That's right. It's just the headline.
So they could have just shut up, but no, they had to put out articles that said we need to stop using the term fake news.
Yeah.
So what were they doing? They were fueling the fire.
That's right.
Yep.
So there's no question that's what they were doing, fueling that fire, fanning the flames.
Absolutely.
So they're complicit. It's not like the mainstream doesn't know that we know that they're fake news.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
We know who knows. We know who knows.
It's not like they don't know that we know.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Not like we're talking about this stuff in the back room in a secret location or anything.
For them, it's just that old scenario, fling crap against the wall and see what sticks. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Just start throwing poo and see what sticks.
Exactly.
Right.
So, given
so insane.
Well,
so they're using.
No, go ahead, Ian.
They're using fake news to talk about fake news, which talks about fake news.
Yep.
Which exposes the fake news.
Fake news.
Which then exposes the fake news, the real fake news.
Which is all based off the original fake news.
And then the fake news says that they have to stop saying fake news.
Fake news, because if you say fake news, then you're saying
all of us out here exposing fake news, we eat that shit up.
Yes.
I mean, what the fuck? Where is this going? Sorry, my language.
Well,
it's just so messed up.
No, you're right. It's a big circle jerk. It's absolutely right, and they're playing us like a fiddle.
Yep.
A fiddle.
Even the so-called truth community is being played like a fiddle.
Very true.
So who gets a tinfoil hat, Dean?
Send me one for my birthday, because my other one broke.
Jordan Raines already has his. Look at his avatar.
I've been wanting one for a long time.
Yep. I haven't gotten a tinfoil hat yet. I guess I'm about due.
I've been called a tinfoil hatter more than once.
Well, I certainly have been called that, but since I don't have one, it's not true.
Well, you have you have a Guy Fawkes mask. I don't even have one of those.
I do have a Guy Fawkes
You do?
mask. Yes, I do. It was given to me by a gentleman who visited me, and we got to know each other, and he gave me his Guy Fawkes mask.
You have that on your channel, right?
Yeah, well, I have one vid that I used on, and that was really, to be very fair, it was before I really understood. You know, I just saw it as an anonymous symbol. I didn't realize the whole Guy Fawkes picture when I used it. Yep. And you may notice that's the first, last, and only time you saw it. But it worked, you know.
Remember, the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I see no reason the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. That's the legend of Guy Fawkes right there.
Yep.
All right, so
okay, so what about PK here? Somebody was saying in the chat, PK was on the Jewish news?
In Australia. The Australian Jewish news.
Australian Jewish news. Okay.
Yeah, he's an Aussie.
Right.
And in fact, he and several other people, I forget, I know the name of one of them in my brain somewhere, but I've forgotten. They went to the location and wound up bumping into the cabbie that the fake news was pumping as the hero. And apparently PK said something.
They got into a confrontation.
But he also said something. He had some information. He isn't telling us what it is, but he had some information that he told the cabbie that made the cabbie get very wickety. Yeah, Anaconda. That's the one. Thank you, Jordan.
So is there?
Yeah,
is
it was Anaconda malt liquor.
Yes.
Is this on video somewhere?
Yeah, PK and Anaconda Malt Liquor and another cat, I don't know who, but they all live around Melbourne. They got together, they met up with each other, they went down there, and they videotaped, and they walked down the sidewalk where the car supposedly went. And
tons of surveillance cameras that nobody has the footage from.
Oh, we do have one surveillance footage.
Well, yeah, no, but
and you can see the car braking. Actually, I'm looking for the video right now while we're chatting it up here.
Yeah, I've seen that one. That's the only one that the news got a hold of. Gee, why didn't they go store to store? Well, because it was only the one place that was set up to get the footage.
Hey, so what is the story? What's the story of the Melbourne shooting? What is it? A shooting or stabbing?
No, it's a car that's presumably ran over a bunch of people. Except when you're looking at it, you can see the car swerving to miss people and hitting its brakes until people got out of the way.
And they actually created a whole story on that.
Really, you're not familiar with? You're not familiar with this, Ian? Wow.
Oh,
yeah, I haven't caught up on it now.
Okay.
Wow.
Like I said, I've been working and stuff. I haven't.
Okay.
Up on
am I? Hang on. I want to do a screen share.
Up here. I've been looking.
All right, you got to see this. Where was it? It was this one, I think.
So what? They couldn't get a truck for the drill?
Okay. All right. Okay. You see this image right here, looking straight down on the car. It says warning graphic content.
Okay.
Yep.
Ooh.
Okay, now hang on. Just everybody slow down.
Where's the blood?
Before we get into what actually happened, one of the reasons I wanted to talk about Melbourne is because this image right here, literally this image, and it looks like somebody jumped up and down on the roof of that car.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it sure does.
Now, there is no way. the problem I'm having is, how does that damage occur?
Yeah, really.
Okay,
That car was supposed
Amy
to
knows.
plow through people.
Yeah, well, Amy knows what happened, and what actually is supposed to have happened is, and I'll play one of these videos in just a second here. This guy's doing circles in the intersection. And I'll play this here. Hey, that's cold.
Yeah, there he is doing his circles.
Yeah.
And people are just kind of paying not a whole lot of attention. And
Yeah, so
spectating.
No, everybody's cordoned off. See that? Everybody's put back behind, and the people that are wondering are
well, they're just standing around. He honks his horn a couple of times. A couple of guys run out and try to hit him with baseball bats. He's got his flashers on. He's got his freaking flashers on, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy right there. That guy walks over and he waves him over or something. I've seen this.
Yep. And then he's presumably takes off down a sidewalk.
So everybody, look, we got cops standing around. Nobody's doing anything.
Nope.
We got all these people standing around.
Yeah.
And there's like 10 different angles. There's a cop. That silver car, that's an Aussie police car. Okay. They're not marked. There's like 3 or 4 or 5 of them. So this guy's doing donuts in the intersection. And then
look at the sign right behind the. Look at the sign behind the crowd.
Ready? Oh yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, it gets even worse. One of the stores, one of the shops on the sidewalk that he runs down is called Mind Games.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh, really? Oh, my God. It's all there.
Yes.
It's perfectly placed. The camera's perfectly placed as well.
Oh, man.
See, they want you to sit there and look at the guy waving the gun out the window, but you should be looking at everything else but the guy waving the gun out the window.
Yes.
So here's a complete. He doesn't have a gun.
No, he's just waving his hand.
He's just waving his hand. Okay, I thought he had a gun.
Okay, so that's a cop. Straight ahead, that silver car, that's a cop, straight ahead. He's honking his horn. He's just doing donuts. This is all for the dog and pony show is what this is.
That's right.
Yes.
There's the guy with the baseball bat. And this is just a different angle. There's like 8 or 10 different angles, people, cell phone angles from all over every corner. There's plenty of footage of him doing this.
Why didn't the cop just shoot?
There's only one video, and it's a CCTV video. See, there's a cop there.
Why didn't he just throw a spike down or something?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's doing
it's not like
anything.
they carry spike strips in their pocket.
Yeah. Well, they have them in the police car, though. You have them in every police car.
Yeah. But they're doing nothing. Doing nothing.
All right, you see that guy in the blue right here?
He's the
making
director.
This guy right there.
He's the director. Yeah.
He is. He literally watch him. Look at him wave his arms. He's pointing.
Waves them off.
Look at him pointing. He's waving his arms. He's making punching. He does that a couple of times.
What happens after that?
Well, what happens after? Look at him pointing. He says, "Go that way." Watch. He's punching, and then he points, and this is where the car takes off down the street, right there.
Right there. See, go now.
Yeah. Hang on. I think this is one more time around. One more. He goes around one more time. This guy's whoever's making this video is just pointing at another cop right there.
Yeah.
Now watch for the guy in blue. He's pointing. He's waving his one arm and pointing with his other arm. His right arm is doing big circles, swinging around, and look, there's 2 cops, 3 cops. Those silver cars up on the left side, those are cops.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not in Australia, but I understand from all the videos, everybody says that those are all cop cars.
Right. Those are undercover cop cars.
Yeah, they're all unmarked cars, unmarked cops. Yeah. So the guy in blue, the director, he says, okay, go that way. None of these cop cars are doing anything. They follow him real slow. He makes his final lap around. Okay, this video is backing up and doing stuff, so he's showing something else. I've got it on mute, so I don't know what he's talking about. He's pointing to the director. Okay, so I'm going to jump forward here.
Yeah, does he have the single CCTV clip? Now, I had to wonder why the CCTV clip.
I'm going to find that in a minute. Well, I definitely have to show that CCTV clip because the guy's got his brakes on. You can see him. He's like a stunt driver. He keeps tapping his brakes. Yeah. He's not trying to hit people.
No, he's just doing going.
You can see him tap his brake lights like 4 or 5 times.
Yep. Yeah, he's
not trying to hit people.
He's not barreling through bodies. Not in the lead.
This is a Hollywood stunt. There's a cop.
Well, why do they keep showing us the Vesica Pisces right there as well? I've seen that twice now.
I don't know.
Camera.
I have no idea.
Yeah, no clues on that, but
I'm
sure it's in there
just
for
looking
a
at the
reason.
symbolism.
All right, whatever video I've grabbed as an example, I don't even know who it is. They taking their good old time, probably pointing out all kinds of stuff here. I just want to jump. There's the director, punch, 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 and he points. The guy makes another lap.
He makes a sharp lap when he did that. Too.
And then he takes off down the street. Oh, geez. I don't want to watch this 85 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see him. Okay.
Yeah, really? maybe you need another vid.
He's chatting.
Because he seems to be working almost exclusively.
And he takes off. No, he goes around another time, right?
This is where he makes yet another round. So again and again and okay.
All right.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, go to the live leak.
No, wait. This is where the cops start to go after him. So it's like there, right here. So the director is pointing, go, go, go.
It's like,
all right. And look at the cops. Look at the cops. They're real slow. Do.
Like,
these three silver cars. Boom, boom, boom. Look at the director. Hands up. Yay! You finally got my signal. Look at him. Go, go, go. And when the director says go, 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 he goes. And the guy's pointing. You mean no way, dude? Derp.
It's time for you to go on down the street.
So this is where he takes off down the street, and then the cops go follow him. There they go. Dude, look at how fast he's going. Yeah, he really wants to hurt. Look at that crowd. If he wanted to hurt people, he could have mowed that crowd down.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, all right, now I'm going to go try and find the CCTV.
Here, I got a video right here, Aaron, if you want to screen share.
You got this?
I got a live leak video.
Hang on a second. Here. I got a 50.
Video we watched. Oh, there's another different one.
This is only 52 seconds. Let me try this one, and then if this isn't it, I'll give it back to you. Since I've already screen sharing, let me try this. Here it is. Okay, this is a separate. Yeah, watch. Okay, so what you're going to see is on the top of the screen, you'll see the car come in view. And then he takes a left, right where those people underneath of the sign, that black sign in the corner that says TA something, the woman with the white bag, he makes a left turn right there, and then he turns sharply to the right, and you'll see him barrel down the sidewalk. Now watch for the brake lights. Here he goes right there. Look at him. Slowly. Watch. Brake light, brake light, brake light, brake light, brake light. I saw 4 of them. And do you see anybody on the sidewalk?
Go back a second.
No, hang on. It'll play again. Watch. Here we go. Closer. Watch. Brake lights, brake lights, brake lights, brake lights, brake lights, brake, brake, brake.
Yep.
Do you see anybody on the sidewalk? Did he hit anybody?
No.
Do you see anybody laying there?
Everybody got out of the way.
Swerving around.
Everybody got out of the way.
Well, what I want to know is when you play it from the beginning of where the car comes down the street.
Okay, wait. Look at this. The woman in red, the red hair?
Yeah. She
turns and she looks to the right. And literally when 1 or 2 seconds later, everybody else who walks in the frame, they do the same thing.
I noticed that.
So maybe the guy's honking his horn. He's letting the crowd know that there's a whole crowd of crisis actors, right? It's like a flash mob. It's like a flash mob of crisis actors. Watch her. Boom, right there. She looks, and everybody else looks. Everybody looks to the right. Look at all the people turn to the right. Okay, everyone ready? Here it comes.
Okay, did he hit the store or something? I don't know.
No.
Maybe they whiz him down or something.
See,
no, but they know he's coming.
Why is the camera following him? That's what I want to know. There's some footage where the camera follows the car across.
Well, this is just CCTV right here. There's no camera movement.
Yeah, this isn't, but I'm just saying that there is some that is purported to be CCTV.
Oh, and there's also a couple of...
See this one? See how the camera follows him?
Okay, hang on. I'm going to pause here. I think what we're looking at, Amy, is basically a zoomed-in version of the original.
Well, that could be. Okay.
And then whoever is making this video is so zoomed in that they have adjusted the screen to follow the car. I don't think the camera per se is following the car because it's the same angle. It's just closer up.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I'll back it up from here. Now, if you look at the very top right corner of my screen, see the guy in the gray with his head cranked to the right?
Yep.
That's who you see in this image up here. Hang on. That's who you see at the beginning of this next piece. Coming up right here, that guy.
Oh, okay.
So somebody has just zoomed into the...
Right. Gotcha.
And I bet you anything that car was just sitting there waiting just out of view of that camera, and then it just sped up just out of view of that camera. And they're all just looking over at that car, getting ready for it to go.
Does anybody see any injured people on that sidewalk?
Nope.
These guys are well trained, you know. Like, they got out of the way pretty damn good, didn't they?
Look at how crowded.
What interests me is that virtually all of the people on that sidewalk are going the same direction. How often does that happen in real life?
You know, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Are they?
Well,
it's kind of hard to tell from that zoomed in position.
Right there. Look, I mean, you see how many times he hit his brake lights?
Yep.
This is not a person who wants to hurt people.
No.
This is fake. This is a stunt driver.
It is totally fake.
All righty, you got something you want to...
They're really, like, out of the way. They got out of the way really good, eh?
Well, they knew he was coming. Everybody turned their head. They all knew he was there.
They're really trained, though, looks like. Well, I was going to show that other video where he's doing the circles, but... in the car.
Now, Anaconda Malt Liquor and PK and other people have pointed out all the strange behavior of some of the other people involved, especially those who are supposed to be wounded and those who are supposed to be helping the wounded. So there's plenty of videos out there that literally pick this thing completely apart. And apparently PK got on the phone and tried to call the hospital pretending to be the friend of one of the injured. And he got in trouble, man. He got either a visit or a phone call from the Aussie police, and they made him take down some videos. His account was suspended for 2 weeks, and yeah. So and they named him by name. They showed his face in the article. In fact, there's articles out there. I'm not sure where to find them, but I know that if you go to like Anaconda Malt Liquor, he talks about it and shows the article, and other people have as well.
You should get a lawyer. You could probably get some kind of lawsuit on this.
So go ahead. You got something you want to share?
Well, I was going to show the car going around again, but we already watched it.
Yeah.
I just found a video that went straight through, didn't stop. So did we get the typical crisis actors coming out as well after giving their accounts of what happened?
Well, no, but we got a fake funeral.
Well, there have been only a tiny handful. You know what? This is another thing. This is another good point that needs to be made. There should be dozens of eyewitness interviews with all those people standing around.
Yes.
There should be dozens and dozens and dozens of people having given interviews. This should be available.
Right.
And who do they talk to? Nobody except one or two people.
Yeah.
Very true.
Right.
I've only seen like 2 interviews.
There's no selfies out there. People going, look, see, I'm at the thing. I'm at the car crash.
Nope.
And once again, and I've pointed this out before, I'll do it again. Once again, we have a group of 100 or 200 people who with cell phones, and out of all those people, you think 1 or 2 of them might have a damn YouTube channel.
You'd think.
Someone like us, just a regular guy saying, look, I was there. Here's my footage on his channel.
Yeah. I was standing right there, man. This car came zooming right here. I had to jump over here. You know, he'd be all like,
yep.
Yeah.
You know, I had that incident happen a couple of houses down from me, 2 blocks from my house, where the guy blew himself up, police standoff, robots, dogs, ATF, helicopters. And I walked down there, and I didn't catch the incident, but I talked to people involved. I talked to the owner of the business. I talked to the police. I've got it on video. It's on my channel.
Yes.
You know, I did my – where are the people – you remember Bataclan had 300 people inside?
Yeah.
Pulse nightclub's supposed to have like 300 people inside. Where the freak are the people with cell phones and YouTube channels?
I know.
If we add up just a handful.
It was one.
One girl.
We saw one girl's little clip on our video. Right?
I mean, if we add up just a handful of these events, we've got 1,000, 2,000 people. How many of those people would have YouTube channels? A couple at least.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very true. And
Or
even
a friend. A friend. Hey, I don't have a channel, but I got this. Put it on your channel, buddy.
Or even,
I'll upload it.
Hey, I've got this awesome footage. I'm going to start a YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
no kidding.
You know? I'm just saying. Do you never see this?
Some pictures, too. I mean, not.
Yeah, pictures, something. But nope.
Of course not.
Never see any
All
of
right,
it.
so, all right, if you're not screen sharing, then I want to see if I can find that article. It should just take a moment. Shouldn't be too hard to find. I really can't believe that there are not more just regular people with regular YouTube channels who happen to be standing around because they were one of a couple of hundred people. Like, look, the Fort Lauderdale airport shooting.
Yeah, that was another.
How many people were involved in that? 1,000, 2,000 people, a couple of thousand people at the airport? Nobody took a video and put it on their YouTube channel? Really? No one?
Yeah, it's like ridiculous. Because it was fake. That's why we know. When it's fake, you don't get those things. It's only when it's real that you'll see that. And the real ones happen so rarely that. And as I recall, Aaron, that incident that you had down the street from you never even made it to the local news, right?
Yeah, it didn't even make local news. The guy killed himself by blowing himself up using the propane tank on this trailer. There was a police standoff. They had bomb squad. ATF was there. They had bomb robots. They had a police standoff that lasted over an hour. They had the whole damn neighborhood blocked off in every direction. There must have been 25 police cars and I don't know how many other emergency vehicles were there. And I'm not kidding. There was a robot. You know, they had the bomb squad robot out there. They had dogs. And, yeah, I thought this was going to put my little town of Snellville on the map. I thought we were going to make national news. It didn't even get local coverage. I'm not even kidding.
Well, they couldn't control the narrative because it was real.
It was real.
That's right.
So yeah, they're not going to talk about real things because they can't.
Heaven forbid.
They can't. They never know what they're going to come up with if they do.
Okay, so here we have Australian actor. This is PK because we all know he is an actor. He actually acted in a movie side by side with Nicolas Cage. So we know PK's an actor. He doesn't hide it. No secret there. Australian actor impersonated family of Burke Street victim.
What? No, he didn't. Did
Oh
he?
my God! Hang on a second. I got to
Yeah.
pause this.
Didn't.
They're just bullshitting, man.
They're actually playing the. They're playing the phone call. I can't stop it. I can't see where to make it
Can you
stop.
hear
It's Peter. I can't make it stop.
But I'm sure anything they're presenting on this doesn't give it any justice. So.
But are they saying he said he was a family member?
Yeah.
He never did. He said he was a friend of his.
Oh.
Is what he said. So right now, right there, we know they're.
All right. Well, I wasn't listening to it because they actually played a section of the phone call.
I
Shit.
listened to the whole thing, and at no point did he say he was a family member. He said,
Really? So right off the bat, they're lying about that?
a friend of his. He says he just, he hadn't been in town. He just come into town and he heard that his friend.
Okay.
And went and took it from there.
Okay, hang on. I'm just going to speak while he speaks so that you can hear what I'm hearing because the audio is not working.
Oh, see, there it says impersonates a friend of the Haken or Hawkins.
Hang on. How you doing this evening? Yeah, that's good. Look, I've just arrived in Melbourne yesterday and regards this tragedy that happened last week. An old friend of mine is apparently in the Melbourne hospital. Just wondering when visiting hours were, if there were visiting hours. I'm not sure what condition she's in. Been there for about a week now. Her name is Natalie Harkin. Yeah, so they absolutely lied. He didn't say family, he said friend.
Well, in that video, it says impersonating the friend.
The headline here says impersonated family.
See, right in
Yes.
the headline. See, and you'll read the headline. You'll read the headline. It'll trigger an emotional response. Oh, what a dick! He's trying to pretend he's a family member, and then they'll move on to the next topic.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Here, now
People
the article,
actually listen.
the article says, and an Australian actor has repeatedly impersonated and vilified the friends and family of a little girl killed in Melbourne's Burke Street massacre via a series of phone calls and public videos. Neighbors and underbelly bit part actor Peter Kuzner. Neighbors and underbelly bit part actor Peter Kuzner, who has more than
That's not emotionally loaded, is it?
who has more than 18,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel, was reportedly instructed by police to pull down at least 3 lengthy videos where he vilified several victims who were killed and injured in the tragedy. News.com.au has obtained copies of the videos, which have all been reported to police, but decided not to publish them. Mr. Kuzner is also impersonated a family friend of slain schoolgirl Taylor Haken.
He says Hawken, but
All right. In a recorded phone calls to 2 Melbourne hospitals before uploading audio of the conversations to his channel. Mr. Kuzner, a conspiracy theorist, believes the Burke Street attack never took place and that no car went down Burke Street. In his online videos, he goes as far as, no, I'm sure that's not what he's, no, this is being spun like crazy.
You've seen a car. I mean,
Yeah, that's not what he's saying. He's saying nobody died, nobody got hurt.
Yep.
Exactly. He says it was fake. Not, yeah. Oh.
Now listen, he makes other. Now this is true because we all know Peter. PK is a vile. His tongue.
He uses the C word all the time, and
He makes numerous other horrific comments about people hurt in the attack. Now the part of that is true is that he makes horrific comments. The part that's a lie is that people were hurt in the attack.
right.
Before I even finish the sentence, there's a lie and there's the truth.
yeah.
Yep.
So he does make horrific comments. True that, but nobody died in this attack. Nobody got hurt. I didn't see anybody. There's no image of anybody. Anyway, all right.
And he probably, the horrible comments were that he's a complete fraud.
Now, see, this is where they tell the truth. In one video, Mr. Kuzner can be heard calling the Royal Melbourne Hospital and telling a receptionist he's an old friend. Well, duh.
Duh.
You're going to play the freaking audio, and then you're going to... Okay, now, I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know. Maybe in another video he says he was a family member.
Nope.
Maybe that's why they have this headline. But, Amy, you're maybe more familiar with what I am, and you're saying he never did, so...
Nope.
Okay.
He only made one phone call, and at no point did he state that he was a family member.
Okay. Fair enough.
Oh, the media. They're our number one enemy, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they are representative of the number one enemy, which are the psychopaths in control.
Right. Yeah.
They are totally controlled.
They're enemy number one.
Enemy. But they certainly have a lot of control. Yes, they do. Anyone that takes them seriously, I tell you what.
All right, look, you guys, I don't mean to do this, but I have to do it. It's worth pointing out. You see the image I got here?
Black and white, red.
What else do you see?
A bandaged child.
What else?
Yeah.
Look around. What else? Look around. What else? Don't look at the kid.
A Jewish.
Couple of yarmulkes.
Yarmulkes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I had to say it. I'm sorry.
Black and white, red right near your face too.
Yep. And the black and white stripes.
Yeah, right. The black and the white. Right.
Well, I don't care about all that color coding, and sometimes it's worth pointing out, but I mean, it needs to be noted that this is a Jewish family. Sorry to say. There they are again. I know that somebody in the audience is going to go, finally, they said it was the Jews.
Finally, they called out the Jews.
Well,
I'll just come back to that.
I still say, you know, knowing that I have some Jewish friends who are struggling nearly as badly as I am, and are very good people, and have had my back through the decades we've been friends. You know, to use Jews just kind of sets my hackles up, because it's not all Jews, and not all the people who are a problem are Jews.
Not even
we know that. We know that.
You know, it's like, it's the psychopaths.
We could say the same thing about us. Really, we could. I mean, you know, we share the same soil as some of the most creepiest psychopaths on the planet. So,
really, if they're American. Oh, wait a minute. Those ones were Australian. Never mind.
You know, we walk the same soil as
they're Earthians.
Evil creatures as they do, right? It's all one big thing. You don't have to be Jewish to be in a secret society.
True.
You know? So,
and you don't have to be Jewish to be a Zionist either.
Exactly.
Well, I think Biden.
It's not the same thing.
On that, didn't he?
Different philosophies altogether, different ideologies altogether.
Yep.
You know, while we're on this subject, Ian, and I know that you've got a problem with Richie Allen, but he recently had on his show a woman who was, I think she's got a book out. Sorry, I don't remember her name or what episode it was, but it was about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago. Who actually, it might have been longer than that. I may have downloaded a little bit older show. Could have been the last couple, 2 or 3 weeks, where she was talking about the deplorable, the unbelievable, horrible conditions with the Child Protective Services in Israel.
It's a nightmare.
And how many families are being completely and utterly wiped out and destroyed. And you know, Richie, he has a lot of shows on that topic, and a lot of them are based in the UK and some in America, but largely in the Child Protective Services in the UK. He's got a lot of guests on who talk about how easy it is for them to come and take your kid, and how much money there is in it for the system every time a child is, taken from one family and passed on to another. There's something like $5,000 a month is allocated, and there are kickbacks, and they pass more and more laws to make it more easy for them to take your kids and more easy to destroy your family and discredit and slander, particularly fathers. This woman was talking about Israel and the conditions with the child protective services over there, and she was saying that the laws over there, forgive me if I get this wrong, I'm just going off of memory, it's like super easy for a woman, like you get divorced, for instance, and the ex-wife will accuse the husband of some sort of abuse. She doesn't have to prove anything, and he can be thrown in jail, and the child can be taken away, and then his life is ruined forever. And also there are instances where the father has to pay child support even though he has the child.
What?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Go back to Richie Allen and you'll see the headline. Just go browse his headlines, and it'll say, I'll find it here in a minute if you want me to, and tell you exactly which one it was. But oh yeah, I'm not even. Yeah, it's just something else to make your blood boil. In fact, I'm going to go look for it just so I can let everybody know which show we're talking about. Come on, keyboard. All right, computer, I'm trying to do too many things too fast here. I'm just going to go ahead and share this while I'm pulling it up so you can see. Do-do-do, waiting on the computer. Do-do-do.
Some year we'll get there.
Sophia Smallsturm, by the way, if you guys, I know Ian's got a bit of a problem with Richie Allen, but the Sophia Smallsturm interview was a really good one, by the way.
I like her. I like her greatly. She's good at pointing out how much BS there was at Sandy Hook.
I also really like this most recent Jordan Maxwell interview on Richie Allen. Jordan, in my opinion, on this interview, he sounds like a broken man. Like he doesn't give a shit anymore. He is spilling some beans. He's literally letting the cat out of the bag. Go listen to that interview. It's a really good one.
I listened to an old interview he had with Jeff Rentz a long time ago, about 5 years ago, and he was about the same mood too with Rentz. Like, they'll never wake up. It's giving up. And he was saying that we're going to need some sort of, the only thing that'll change is some sort of divine intervention. It's the only thing that'll ever change what's the satanic system we're in, the beast system.
Well, I disagree.
It's a beast system, right?
I think we can withdraw our consent and consent to better.
Right.
I'm just guessing. Because apparently they really do need our consent, even if it's implied and they use their vague and hidden and obscure and, presumably make believe to tell us what they're going to do,
Well, they're always going to have their minions, and they're.
This is a really good interview right here. This one here, Maria Heller. Dr. Wayne Squire, the establishment nearly destroyed me for questioning the shaken baby syndrome. That's a really good interview as well. Really good interview, that one. Gender neutrality, Hayden. Truth or industrial. I don't think it was this old. I don't know why I can't. I thought I would have found it a lot sooner here. George Webb. I thought it was before the John Rappaport. In fact, I know it was. I don't think it was this one.
You want to take another 5 and you can search for that thing.
I'm all for taking another 5.
All right, give me just a second. I'll pull up some more.
All right, I'll be back.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is a new one here, but this is a new one by Zach. It's called Moonbots.
Cool. Be back.
So there we go. That was Moonbots by Juxtapose. Good stuff, man. I'm liking the new mixes. You guys back with us yet?
I'm back.
All right. I was wrong. It wasn't Richie Allen. It was John B. Wells. I had it downloaded because I was working out of town and I was in an area where there was no signal. And so I downloaded a bunch of interviews to listen to while I was working. So I went and checked my download file. And I'm going to tell you what video to go check out, which will open your eyes about what's happening in Israel regarding the Child Protective Services. A couple of good interviews here. The Benghazi one is good. John Wells. I do like John B. Wells a lot.
Yeah, he does some good stuff.
Here he is. CPS welfare and child trafficking scandal in Israel. This is the one I'm talking about right here. Go check out this interview right here. Hour and a half long.
All right.
Marianne Azizi. So this is the interview I'm talking about right here. So for anybody watching, this is the one to go check out, and this is definitely worth looking into right here. So that's why I do this, is so you guys know what we're talking about. It's on John B. Wells. CPS welfare and child trafficking scandal in Israel with Marianne Azizi. That's a good interview. Check that out. Pretty amazing stuff, and pretty depressing stuff too, man, when you realize what's going on. And by the way, have you heard that California is either passing or passed or working on passing a law that, God, I'll have to look this one up while we're on the show too, because I don't remember all the details. They want to make basically the state is going to be the new parent. That's essentially what's going to happen if this thing passes.
Yep, I'd heard something about that. I don't know the details on it, but yeah.
I know that they're working on the meme of children's rights. Like a child has a right to be vaccinated, right? You know what I mean? So they want to try to make it sound like your child has a right to be vaccinated. And if you don't vaccinate your child, you're not a good parent. We're taking the kid.
Of course.
That is so evil.
It is. It's medical tyranny. That's what it is.
That's a good word for it. Medical tyranny. Absolutely.
Communism.
Oh, yeah.
California is so commie.
Yep.
Everything about it. It's just so commie.
So I don't even know where to go from here. I'll pull up that article on California, or what were we talking about?
Just talk about the
you guys are making me depressed.
The CPS system.
Aw.
Oh, Muffin.
Don't be depressed. I'm working on making it better.
I'm just joking. I'm blaming you, but it's all the stuff that we're talking about. It's depressing shit, man. If you're not angry, you're not paying attention, dude.
Exactly.
I agree. If you're not angry, you're just lapping up the puke on the mainstream.
So Wade 57 says, but the good Jews don't call out the Zionist Jews. That's actually not true.
You're right. It's not true.
No, there's Jewish protesters in New York City that call out the Zionists.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
group of them that always go out there.
There's Jewish protesters in Israel. They really are. Although it's a little harder to get away with it over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
They're violent, though. I mean, they are a violent bunch. I saw a video. It was in New York, I think. It was near a synagogue where a guy was filming, and he was just being nice, and he was just wanting to ask a few questions, and they freaking, and I'm talking these like really, what are they called, Hasidic or Orthodox Jews, these really Orthodox looking older men, with the curly curls down the sides, right?
Yeah, I think that is Hasidic.
They surrounded this guy and damn near beat him to death. I mean, they started attacking him physically. Like these old men were punching and pushing and kicking and getting physical with this guy. And he was just like, hey, I just wanted to ask you a few questions. And I don't remember the content, but I do remember that the guy was not belligerent. He wasn't cursing. He wasn't talking shit. You know what I mean? But, they didn't want him around. And they were quick to gang up on him and literally get physical with him.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the liberal left. What the fuck is going on with the liberals these days? Why is the Democrat liberal side so violent?
Well, because George Soros is funding it all. You've got a billionaire psychopath behind the wheel.
Well, I'm going to say that's probably just more psyop.
Yeah.
Well,
because
look, hang on. In all fairness, you're right. George Soros is paying for a lot of it, and that's true. But let's be real. Those are people. Okay? Those people signed up for this. Nobody went and knocked on their door and said, hey, I heard you're a liberal, and now you're going to come work for us. Those people signed up.
Well, they could be prisoners getting off prison time to do these things, so just like crisis actors and stuff.
Yeah, it could be all kinds of things.
All kinds of things. It could be even special ops. Because the cops were caught in Toronto. They caught the cops acting as provocateurs. They went down the street and they started busting windows and stuff, and then people followed them, right? And they were in black bloc masks and everything, right? Covered their faces. And a guy followed them with a camera, and the cops grabbed them and they pushed them in behind their line when they were done. And that was right on camera. So we know that the insiders do it as well.
I mean, yeah, there may be some people who are duped that are in there and getting into it, but I'm going to guess the bulk of them aren't.
People follow the leader. But
I'm just trying to get my head around the people that are involved, and although they're taking paychecks, what kind of person would take a paycheck to go and do that, to be part of?
Psychopaths.
We don't know. That's the $1 million question, isn't it? What makes these people tick, right? What makes them want to do these things?
Money, power.
Well,
they're psychopaths.
We know that you're right, Ian. In a lot of cases, crisis actors are like ex-cons, or they're about to be charged, and they have that leverage.
Mm-hmm.
So they have that leverage point. So many crisis actors they've been busted. We know that they're ex-cons, and they know that they get off lenient,
or bad actors.
They make deals, sure. And then of course there are a certain population, a percentage, who are just flat out ignorant morons, brainwashed, who literally believe in what they're doing, and will happily take a paycheck to go be part of a mob,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, the smaller percentage are those people that, really think that they're doing something for a purpose.
Yeah,
most of them.
The means thing.
Yes.
Out of the darkness into the light, from the dark into the light. Remember that crisis actor just used that on that other hoax the other week last week. Used that line. It was like from the Gene Rosen acting school.
Yes.
There is a lot of people who are caught up in secret societies and cults, and and they'll go out and do these things because they think that they're brainwashed into thinking the ends justify the means.
Yep.
Which is what it seems to be with Sandy Hook. They seem to be all these sort of Roman Catholic or.
It's funny you said that, ends justify the means.
That's like a cult, they're all kind of like the same, right? And they all talk the same way and stuff, right? Showing the symbolism and everything, right? It's like they're in some sort of cult, right?
It's funny that you should mention
Mormon thing.
You said a minute ago the end justifies the means, and that they believe in what they're doing. It's funny you should mention that. I was actually listening to Richie Allen today, and Jim Mars was on there, and we all love Jim Mars, and that's exactly what he was saying, and that's like an what he was saying. It's an Illuminati mantra that the end justifies the means.
Right. Out of the darkness into the light. Right.
And he was actually comparing Republicans and Democrats. And he said that, you know, what did Obama do different than Bush? And what did Bush do different than Clinton? You know what I mean? Every time it switches hands, that they act a little bit differently on the surface, but the bottom line is that the end justifies the means to them. They all work on the same mantra.
They all have a common goal.
Yeah, the agenda continues to proceed.
Yeah, for a new world order,
Yep.
incrementally, bit by bit.
All right, well, Michael Resnecki is really hung up on the Chattanooga thing. He just piped up. He said the same kind of people say the Chattanooga bus crash was fake. Michael, I just want to tell you my opinion here, since you brought it up yet again, that not everybody is a psychopath just because they disagree with you. Some people get it wrong. There are good people doing good work who make mistakes. That's all I'm going to say on that. And you know where I feel on Chattanooga. I agree with you. I don't think it was fake. But I do have a couple of serious questions about Chattanooga. In fact, since we brought it up, we're on the subject, I'll throw this out there right now. There were parents seen on images, pictures, and video taking their children home from that bus crash. And the news report said that these parents came and picked their kids up and took them home from the crash. I got news for you, Michael. I got a real fucking problem with that. That's not going to happen in the real world. There's no way that any school official, there's no way that any emergency personnel, any first responder is going to allow a child involved in a bus crash to be taken home by the parent. There are protocols and laws in place. Those children have to go to the hospital to be checked out and made sure that everyone's okay. They don't have any hidden injuries, right?
Yep.
So think about that one, Michael, and you know, feel free to comment. And if you want, I'll even bring you on the show and we'll talk about that, because that's my big problem. And I agree with you, Michael. According to the images, it does not look faked. And I think that they would have had to go to a lot of trouble to fake that. And if it was fake, then whatever. I don't think it was fake. However, Michael, one thing that you maybe haven't considered is that these kids have been some of them were picked up and brought home by their parents. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that would happen in the real world. I don't think that anybody would allow a child to go home from a bus accident with their parents, say, oh, you feel okay? Okay, see you later. That's not going to happen. There's too many liabilities involved, too many lawsuits waiting to happen.
Yep.
So President dropped her off at Gene Rosen's house.
Yeah, really. Send him off to Gene. Good old Uncle Gene.
Gene will take her.
He'll feed them tea and cookies, and they'll be okay.
Yeah. But before we run out of time, you wanted to talk, Aaron, about J. Smith Four's financialization of Rents Act.
Wow, did you write that one down? Wow, you must have wrote that one down. Yeah, let me see if I can find the article. Give me just a moment here.
And then a little bit on the cashless society before we.
Yeah, you know, we've heard a lot about this cashless society, and there are a couple of good reasons, you know, from our perspective, you know, the little people. There's one or two good reasons to go cashless, but then again, the majority of the reasons for us little people is bad news.
Absolutely.
One of the reasons I can see that the big boys, they would want to go cashless, you know, we've been talking to Joseph Farrell about hidden money, hidden loot, the transfer of literally hundreds of billions and in some cases trillions of dollars of transfer, you know, in these clearinghouses. In other words, a bank who would clear the check and transfer the money and make sure that it's good and the money moves from here to there in huge amounts to the tune of many, many billions or even trillions. So this is financial fraud. And in some cases, and even Joseph Farrell talks about the Bank of International Settlements, and how they have sovereign status, and that they can move these huge securities in the tune of billions of dollars just when a few pieces of paper in securities called bearer bonds. And you know, they've been caught doing it on one or two, at least a couple of occasions. So one of the reasons that the big boys would want to go cashless is so that they can move their money around more efficiently without getting caught. Big money.
Right.
I'm talking and I'm supposed to be typing, so let me see. This is a Wolf. I think it's wolfstream.com. Let me check that.
Well, don't they just want it so that we don't have any tangible physical wealth to trade, that they control the whole money system completely? Wouldn't that be why they're pushing for a cashless society?
I'm so sorry, Ian. I was typing when you were talking. Would you repeat that?
Well, I was just saying that they basically want to make it so that we have no physical wealth, right? And we rely on digital currency only, right? So that they can manipulate it, they can crash whenever they want, and we wouldn't have any.
That's right.
Physical wealth. I mean, it's just like the war on gold, right? Where they're buying up all the gold right now, right? So that we run out of supply of it.
Yeah, you're right. It's about the physical wealth, the paper money.
Right. To take away our physical. Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's also when you have everything in the electronic bit form, very easy to keep tabs on everyone.
Well, mostly everybody's chipped anyway. There's not many people that don't have a bank card, debit card, credit card, right?
Well, yeah, but the thing is that if you go and you get cash out, they don't have any way of figuring out how you spent that cash.
Well,
that's my point.
And they can't tax it. If I was to pay the neighbor $50 or $100 to do me a favor, or the neighbor's, teenage son to shovel gravel or some shit, they want cash transactions to be taxable. That's another reason.
Yep.
They want all transactions, no matter what, to be taxable.
Right. And to have service charge.
And another important reason that you brought up, Ian, was that they want your physical wealth
out of your hands.
Out of your hands, exactly. Like, for instance, I've got some cash put aside. I won't say right now how much, but I, like a lot of people, have put some cash aside out of the bank. If something happens, I've got some money to work with. Yeah. You know what I mean? If a meteor comes and an EMP shuts down the electrical grid or some shit, and all of a sudden banking shuts down, there's a run on the banks, there's a bank holiday, all of a sudden nobody can get their money out of the bank. Well, I can operate for quite a good bit of time because I've put cash away. I'm also got some physical gold. So I'm a little bit protected, to some extent. And they want control of that as well. They want to make sure that nobody has cash put away. So when they crash the system, that we're literally all dependent.
Yep.
That's right. And then people can't form their own community banks and stuff like that as well, right?
It's evil at its heart. It's all the more reason we should just quit accounting for human energy.
This is a good website. Wow, this is called wolfstreet.com. Let me screen share and show you guys this. I've not been here yet, but I heard it from Jay Snip when I was listening to him earlier today about this particular topic. This is called wolfstreet.net or .com. Wolf Street, howling about business and finance. Looks like a lot of good articles in here. Rents plunge and costliest U.S. cities soar in mid-tier cities. What was the other one I saw down here? All these look like good articles here. Where did it go? Here. I think this is the one Jason was talking about, this article here. Check this out. Government buckles guarantees buy-to-rent mortgage-backed securities for first time ever. Wall Street wins again.
Oh.
Invitation Homes, the 2012 buy-to-rent creature of private equity firm Blackstone, and now owner of 48,431 single-family homes, thus the largest landlord of single-family homes in the U.S., accomplished another feat. It obtained government guarantees for $1 billion in rental home mortgage-backed securities. The disclosure came in amended S11 filing with the SEC on Monday in preparation for Invitation Homes IPO. Invitation Homes bought these properties out of foreclosure and turned them into rental properties concentrated in 12 urban areas. The IPO filing lists $9.7 billion in single-family properties and $7.7 billion in debt. So they're $2 billion ahead, so they're doing okay. Some of this debt will be refinanced with the proceeds from the sale of the $1 billion of government-guaranteed rental home mortgage-backed securities. The government agency that has agreed to guarantee the timely payment of principal and interest of these guaranteed certificates, as they're called, is, wait for it, Fannie Mae, one of the government-sponsored entities that has been bailed out and taken over by government during the financial crisis.
Right. And Blackstone is basically Lehman Brothers. That's where kind of people from Lehman Brothers started.
So this is another example of privatizing profits and publicizing losses. So the taxpayer's on the hook.
Mm-hmm.
So the corporations get to use taxpayer dollars to bail them out when things go bad, and they get to suck up all the profit when everything works out. So it's a win-win.
Yep.
So just like the title of today's show, heads they win, tails we lose.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So a mortgage, if anybody doesn't know, a mortgage-backed security, right? It's a type of asset-backed security that is secured by a mortgage or collection of mortgages. So it's an asset-backed. So the mortgages are sold to a group of individuals, a government agency or an investment bank that securitizes or packages the loans together into a security that investors can buy. Kind of complicated.
Here's the, oh shit, it says Atlanta. Let me read this bottom paragraph. In fact, I'll read the bottom two or three paragraphs here. Not all of it will be guaranteed by government. To satisfy, quote, credit risk retention requirements, Invitation Homes, quote, would purchase and retain the subordinate non-guaranteed certificates amounting to 5% or $50 million of the $1 billion in securities. That's all the cushion the taxpayer has before losses begin to hit home, so to speak. The GSEs, or government or guaranteed security, shit. What was GSE? It said so right up here. I want to make sure I got that right. I know it. GSEs, government-sponsored entities. Okay. So the GSEs, government-sponsored entities, were founded to promote home ownership by subsidizing it with at first implicit, comma, and since the financial crisis, explicit government guaranteed mortgages. But this deal represents a big shift. Now, in a delicious Wall Street irony, nice choice of words there, the government subsidizes the largest landlords and enhances their profits from renting out single-family homes that individual homeowners had lost during the housing collapse and foreclosure crisis. Here's the last paragraph. There is a darker side to corporate ownership of single-family rental homes and the financialization of rents. Soaring evictions, according to the Atlanta Fed, which explicitly blames the Fed and Bernanke. And then it says, read further, here's another article. Evictions by Wall Street mega landlord soar. Financialization of rents cause housing instability, Atlanta Fed. So there's another article to read there. Again, folks, it's just another example of, heads they win, tails we lose.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know what else to do. Just keep screaming from the rooftops.
Withdraw consent.
Keep screaming from the rooftops. Yeah, MCOT said we're serfs. That's exactly right. We are. No doubt.
Well, they think we are.
Well, most people, go along to get along, and so it's complicit in the system.
Well, yeah, they're consenting.
MCOT's in Canada? We got a lot of Canadian friends.
That's right. We're coming out of the woodwork. Spell Nazi. Well, we had this idea that the Nazi, the end of it, the ZI, could also be
Zionism.
Represent ZI for Zionism too.
Yeah, that's something I've kind of suspected for a long time. And I've not gotten a lot of confirmation, but I've suspected for quite a while that the ZI in Nazi actually stands for Zionism and not what we've been told as socialism.
That's what I've been led to believe that is a high probability.
In fact, if you read Farrell's books, he talks about how the Germans, the post-war Nazis, who had nuclear technology, and they were working with pariah nations, Russia, the USSR, and South Africa and Israel, that they colluded with Israel, particularly among others, and gave them nuclear technology, nuclear weapons, nuclear materials. So, like I said to Farrell on the show, I said, it's a story of very strange bedfellows. And that's indeed what it is.
It is, yeah. We're all in a big club,
And we're not in it.
Yeah, we're not in it.
We're not in it.
But with this cashless society, they're just going to create it so that it's going to be like convenient, right? It's going to be all about convenience. Right? You have to fumble through your wallet to find bills, and count bills.
Well, on that topic of cashless society, I've got some old notes, and they're laying next to me in a giant pile. I'd have to dig them out. But I remember Ole Demigard was talking about, not on our show, but he talked on another interview about how Spain is, they passed a new law or referendum or something, and they made it illegal to make cash withdrawals of more than 1,000, whatever the Spanish dollar is.
That was Cyprus, wasn't it, when they had their...
No. Cyprus is Greece, right?
Yeah.
Is that Greece? No, I'm talking about Spain. I'm talking about Spain did this.
Yeah, limits on cash withdrawals.
Yeah, they had a limit on cash withdrawal, and it used to be 2,500 euros. Maybe because Spain is part of the European Union, I think. So it was they had a limit on 2,500 euros, and that was previous. And then they just bumped it. They knocked it down to 1,000 cash withdrawal. no more than 1,000 euros at a time. So I mean, this is not, the New World Order, they don't say New World Order for nothing. It's the whole world.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they'll push us a little bit in one direction, and they'll push somebody else a little bit farther in another direction, and then they'll push us a little bit farther in whatever direction. And little by little, as David Icke puts it, the totalitarian tiptoe, it moves forward.
Boiling the frog.
That's right, boiling the frog.
So, CMOT and asked a question at the beginning of the show: are the Zionists and New World Order the same beast? Well, Zionist is part of the beast, same beast. Right? But the New World Order is kind of the beast, right?
Well, my take on Zionism is kind of deep, and part of what I know is totally true, and part of it's going to be some speculation. But as far as I know, the Zionist movement is about creating the greater Israel, right? Recreating the homeland and then creating the greater Israel.
Right.
But here's the thing that goes deeper than that. It goes to the biblical prophecy, and I don't talk much about Bible, religion, prophecy. But from what I understand, there's a belief that Christ cannot return until the Temple of Solomon is rebuilt.
The third temple. Yeah.
That's right. They got to build that temple.
The New Jerusalem.
That's right. They got to build that temple. But there's a problem. There's a
go.
problem. The Muslims already have the temple. It's theirs. It's called the Dome of the Rock. Right? It's the
Yep.
But they
Allahu Akbar Mosque. I can't remember the name of that thing.
But they want to move the capital of Israel to Jerusalem, right?
No, actually, I heard they want to move the capital of Jerusalem to London. Have you heard that one?
Oh, God.
I heard that.
Oh, boy, we'd be in real trouble with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they want to name the capital down there Jerusalem now, right? So,
they may have to move it to London. Well, okay.
The temple could represent a lot of different things too, right?
So here's the thing. In order for them to rebuild the Temple of Solomon, where it was supposed to be built, where it was originally built, they have to knock that mosque down. And we all know what's going to happen if they try to knock that mosque down. Right? All shit's going to break loose.
Well, isn't that what Albert Pike wanted? Was all hell to break loose between the
Muslims and Christians.
Yeah.
But well, remember True Theory, right? He's always saying L this and L that, Perpel, Bibel,
sure,
Tempel.
Yes.
L. Okay.
I'm very familiar with True Theory.
I've just learned from
it's the Hebrew God. El is the Hebrew God. Saturn.
Right, and I just learned from somebody that it represents,
it's Saturn.
Common people, the common spirit, right? El, right? The earthly aspect of spirituality, right? El. And so when you think of temple, right? That's referring. It could very well refer to a consciousness or the new world order, right?
Well, Jordan Raines makes a very excellent comment.
Living here on earth, right?
Yeah, finish it.
A new way and it could represent that, right? When they say they'll build the third temple of Solomon, right? Doesn't mean it's going to be a building, does it? Never said that.
You're right. No, you nailed it. You nailed it. Because the temple is a part of your head. And
that's right. If you ever listen to Jonathan Kleck at all, he'll say the temple is us. We are the temple, right?
Well, if you put your finger up to your forehead, that's called your temple.
That's right. That's it's your third eye. It's your temple.
That's what Jordan Raines is saying. He said the dome is your skull, the rock is the pineal, and Zion is in your head.
Zionist is in your head. Zion is in your head. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, exactly right. I mean, in a way, it's right, but
a building. Well, it never really said a building. It just said the temple. Right? So it could mean a lot of. It's all interpretation as well, right?
I suppose. But, again, back to the biblical prophecy that, there are people who believe that Christ will return, but only after the Temple of Solomon is rebuilt. Not until then.
Right.
He's not coming back. That has to happen first.
Yeah. Even Nostradamus predicted that too.
So they got to knock down that mosque first. And that's going to piss some people off like nobody's business.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they're already pretty much. You can see it happening, though. I mean, it's all happening, right? Slowly.
Well, look, what is Israel doing? But it keeps poking the eye. It keeps poking a stick in the eye of Islam.
Yeah, and expanding,
So maybe
settlements, right?
So at some point, somebody's going to attack Israel. Could be Iran, could be.
Well, we know it won't be ISIS. They never attack Israel.
Well, I think any attack on Israel will be part of the script.
Well, no doubt.
Yeah.
They'll just say,
yeah.
this is what happens.
Yeah.
Well, I would also urge you guys to go and listen to the recent Jordan Maxwell interview with Richie Allen. In fact, there's another. Let me try to find it real quick. I've got it on my folder, or my download folder here. There's a whole presentation by Jordan Maxwell that's really, really good. It's a 4-part series, and it's maybe 3.5, 4 hours long. And almost there. Hang on just a second. I'll tell you where to find it. It's called Jordan Maxwell, The Covenant, Hidden Agendas of America and something. I'm not telling me the whole. It's not giving me the whole scoop here. Being cut off by the thumbnail. Of America and England. So there's a series. It's like 4-part series it's called Jordan Maxwell, The Covenant, Hidden Agendas of America and England, and it's an older presentation given by him, where he talks about how that the tribes of Israel, the ancient Hebrews, had 3, maybe 4 different sects. One worshipped the Saturn. One of them worshipped the moon. One of them worshipped
Jupiter.
The sun and Jupiter. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
Somebody commented just a moment ago. I'll try to find it. Who was it? They got the cube, MCOT, or CMOT. Sorry, I got a little dyslexic. CMOT said they got the cube. So the cube is Saturn. We know that.
Yep.
And the Jews some of the Hasidic Jews wear that little black cube on their foreheads. And if you guys are not familiar with that.
Oh, I am. I've seen the pics.
What's interesting is that black cube is also the Kaaba, right?
Yep.
The Kaaba stone, that big black thing that the Muslims go circling around. And by the way, as they circle around, they make the rings of Saturn. So, I mean, that's Saturn symbolism at its finest right there. So there are different sects of Judaism that worship different aspects of the cosmology. Maybe we can get into that a little bit more detail in another show.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a whole show on this whole subject, right?
Yeah, cosmology. We should.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we should gear up for a cosmology show and astrotheology. Absolutely.
I'm all for it.
Be a good topic for next week, I think.
Sure.
There's a lot of chit-chatting in the chats here and in the comments about people, you're not calling out the Jews. So let's go into it and let's see, you know.
Yeah, like Jordan Rains said, the dome is your skull and the rock is your pineal gland and Zion is your head. I could go on for an hour or more just on that subject alone on how, you know, and by the way, you know, the 33 code, right? The Freemason 33.
Yes.
There are 33 vertebrae in the human spine.
Yeah. Jesus died at 33.
Jesus was 33. Superman was 33. I wanted to go into that 33 code on another show. We can have fun with 33. The number, how many 33s? Significant.
Oh, let's do it.
Significant 33s.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Got any final thoughts on tonight?
33,000 emails.
3,300 documents. WikiLeaks documents.
Yep.
$33,000 per plate for Hillary's campaign dinner.
What?
It's just, we could go on forever.
How about?
Well, remember, JFK, RFK, and MLK were all killed on the 33rd or near the 33rd degree parallel.
Yeah, Roswell is on the 33rd parallel, and also Buzz Aldrin said they had 33 hours of oxygen when they were on the moon.
Oh, imagine that!
Wow.
Your breath of life.
You remember? Hey, El Chapo's in the news. Hey, Omaha Ben finally made an appearance.
Oh yeah, his thing was 33 feet deep, wasn't it?
Yeah, his tunnel was 33 feet deep.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's no end.
Yeah, no end to what they do. Well, you got the Club 33 in Disneyland, for crying out loud.
Yes, you do.
Bert Trim, wasn't that a guy? Who are you talking about?
Who?
Bert Trim. This guy
in the chat.
In the chat just showed up and had something to say here. Wasn't that a guy? Who are you talking about, Bert?
Yeah.
There's a delay, bro. So if you're typing, you're probably talking about something we mentioned a few minutes ago. Who are you talking about? Hey, Omaha.
Hey, Omaha. Thanks everybody for joining us again this week.
Yes, thank you so
lively
much.
Chat. A lively chat room here this week.
Oh, that's right. Jordan Rains, 33 trap miners. They even made a movie. 33.
Records 33 and a third RPM.
Hey, let's do a few minutes of overtime because we got a few people engaged here. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh. Speaking of that, Wade, 33 and 1/3. 1/3 is the biblical reference to how many people and how many fish are going to die in the apocalypse. Right? The end times. 1/3 of the oceans will die, and 1/3 of the seas. Right? Isn't there all those references about 1/3 of this and 1/3 of that?
Are we talking apocalypse or Armageddon?
Armageddon. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yes, I do realize that apocalypse means revealing. I'm sorry.
Yes, and I'm all for the apocalypse. I've been waiting for it. Actually,
Yeah.
I think we're in it, if you want my opinion. We are in it. But, I don't want no Armageddon, thanks. I don't consent to that.
Yeah, so next week, let's have fun with 33 for a little while. All the 33s you guys can come up with, significant 33s. We've already covered a bunch of them. Superman and Jesus and vertebrae. Oh, by the way, as far as astrotheology goes, and Bert Trim, if you're still listening, I really want you to, who the hell are you talking about? What do you mean that's a guy? Anyway, 33 degrees Fahrenheit when you are unfrozen. Oh, that's right, because 32 is the freezing temperature. So as soon as you get 1 degree more, it's 33 degrees, and that's you're unfrozen. Good one, Ben.
That's probably why they set the Fahrenheit scale the way they did.
Wow. Hadn't thought of that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, as far as astrotheology goes, what Jordan Rains was saying earlier, there's 33 vertebrae in your spine, and then there's this cerebrospinal fluid that moves up and down your spine, and it goes up to your what's it, cerebral cortex. I'll have to refresh myself on all the parts of the brain and how all that works, but that's basically the ball at the top of the staff on all the symbolism. When you see like the American Medical Association symbol with the staff that has that round ball at the top with the two wings.
The caduceus.
The Carducea, that's right, which is, by the way, the same thing that sits in the lap of Baphomet as a phallic.
Yep.
It represents.
Did you know that the caduceus started out with Hermes, and he was
Yes.
the god of commerce and thievery, and it's the rod of Asclepius that originally meant, health, well-being, medical, caring, and all of that stuff. And it's very interesting. I discovered that the WHO logo has the rod of Asclepius, which kind of intrigued me. I'm not sure why they don't have the caduceus.
Is that arrow on the H? Is that one?
Well, the rod of Asclepius is the single snake around a rod, and the caduceus is the double helix snakes usually with wings or some kind of wing-like things sticking out. Usually it's wings that they put on there. So I just find it interesting that our medical establishment is carrying the symbol of commerce.
Well, I would also point out that Hermes is also Thoth. Or
Yes, Thoth. I
and,
believe it's
and
pronounced.
also represents the planet Mercury.
Yep.
So we got Michael Resnick showing back up, talking shit about everybody. What's your problem, Michael?
Oh, joy.
I'm not sure if he meant to call Jordan a shill or not, but he said shield, and then complained about his voice to text. But anyway, all you gotta do is disagree with Michael one time, and he'll make a video about you.
Yeah, apparently.
All right, you guys. Ian, you want to work on the get the outro queued up and.
Sure. What was the sound like at the beginning? Was it?
It sounded pretty good. It started a little bit faded, but then it came in pretty strong, and other than that, it kept going.
It can't be any worse than we've already been doing. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's been tonight, guys. We covered a lot of topics.
Yeah, it's been great.
We're not too worried about production value around here.
Yeah. Not just yet. It is. You have to use this platform, right? So until we can find a better platform that we can do live chats, well, we're pretty much stuck, right?
Yep.
Back here.
Well, CMOT has to go shovel snow. Thanks for stopping by, CMOT, but we're about to shut down. We've hit our 3-hour mark, and we're trying to keep our shows at around this time because it's getting, it's just too much for people to listen to sometimes. So we're keeping it at about 3 hours. CMOT and Jordan, and we got this guy Bert Trim who showed up, and Omaha Ben made a late appearance. Wade 57. Thanks everybody for your contributions. Thanks for your support. Free Bethlehem made an appearance. And who else? Dean's Dude. Always Dean's Dude. We love that guy.
Love you all.
Frenchie Ben. Thanks for the awesome compliments. Thanks for the awesome compliments, Frenchie Ben. Zach Hawkins made an appearance. Our pal Zach Hawkins. Who else? Anybody I'm not mentioning? Akin of Sargad. Had one thing to say, came and left. Thanks for that. Juxtapose. Thanks, Zach, for showing up. We appreciate all the support, you guys, and we're here for you, and you're here for us. It's a big sharing opportunity, and that's why we do it. So Thanks for everybody's contributions and support. Ian, you got us queued up yet?
Yep, I'm all queued up. Thanks everybody in the chat. Thanks Jordan and Zach and everybody else that came by this week. Very insightful.
All right, go ahead and do your screen share and take us out, buddy. Thanks, everybody. Love you guys. I'll see you all next week. Love and light, everybody. Be good.